Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of NightMayr. We have a fabulous guest tonight. But before I bring him on, I have a couple of stand-up shows to promote. Guys, in a couple of weeks, this is even next weekend. My goodness, I'll be headlining at the Brokerage on Long Island, August 8th and 9th. Get your tickets now. If you are in the New York, Jersey, Connecticut area. If I went to high school with you or anything like that, I better see you at these gosh darn shows. Then I'll be doing stand-up at the Content Hotel Saturday, September 6th. Then I'll be off to Plano, Texas, Massillon, Ohio, San Diego, Phoenix, and other dates to come soon. Go to chrissiemaier.com to get your tickets now and see me do stand-up in a town near you. And as always, if you know of a cool venue nearby, tweet at them, tweet at me, send me an email. Who knows? Maybe it won't fall into my spam, but I'm always looking for new cool places to perform. chrissiemaier.com for tickets. Also, we have a very big event coming up in 5 weeks. Content Hotel at the Villa Roma Resort upstate in the Catskill Mountains. Guys, give yourself a fun weekend away. This is starting Wednesday, September 3rd to Sunday, September 7th. We're going to be doing a 48-hour live stream. We are taking over the Villa Roma Resort in the Catskills. You can reserve your room now and come be a part of this fabulous event. Come hang out with all your favorite YouTubers and stand-up comics for 4 days of live podcasts and live stand-up comedy shows. There are outdoor pools, outdoor hot tubs, a bar. You could just drink mudslides for 4 days, whatever. It's your weekend. It's the weekend after Labor Day. What else are you doing? You know, the kids are going to start school, or maybe you don't have school, or maybe you're just single and you want to meet a lucky lady so that one day you can have kids. You can probably meet them at this event. Reserve your room now. Go to villaroma.com. Go to the group, the group rate button, and put my name down for the discount code. That'll take you to our room block. And then you can go to eventbrite.com to get tickets to all the live events that'll be happening. Thursday, Dave Landau is going to be headlining with Lila Hart hosting. Then on Friday, there's going to be a live Who Are These podcasts with special guest Anthony Cumia. That's Carl Hamburger and the whole WATP gang. Then the late show is going to be Rich Voss headlining with Gerard Michaels featuring. And then on Saturday, there's a special live chatting with Candace Horbach and friends will be 2:00 on Saturday, September 6th. And then the late show on Saturday is going to be the Compound Media stand-up comedy reunion show with myself, Anthony Cumia, Gino Bisconti, Keanu Thompson, and more. So get your tickets now. Don't let these shows get sold out without you. And get your room and all that. Please and thank you. Okay. Without further ado, so happy to have in the NightMayr studios with me today a very good friend. I don't even want to say activist because that is someone who has blue hair and screeches and doesn't often do videos outside their car. My God, he's done so much work against the cause of the whole trans ideology BS and fighting against children being sterilized and whatnot. You know him. You love him. Billboard Chris is live here in studio.
Thanks for having me.
Hi, Chris.
Hello. So yeah, I guess I'm a child protection advocate.
Yes.
Better than activist. Yeah. I never know what to call myself.
I don't know why I said activist.
I mean, I kind of am, but
you are active.
When you think of activists, you think of crazy leftists. And
you think of people who do nothing, who talk a lot but don't do anything. You're going to you're giving speeches. You're like in a different country every week. It seems like you're truly the busiest person I know.
I'm getting around.
You get around.
We're having some big success, so it's a fun adventure.
I just can't even handle how busy you are. Like, it really blows my mind. Like, before we went live, you're just telling me about all these events you're doing and just how much work you're actually, like, you are achieving real success. You're not just like one of these people who bounces around, like who's like, I'm at a TPUSA event, now I'm at this, now I'm on this Fox show or Newsmax, and like you appear on a lot of things, but you've actually helped achieve major success that I feel like has become, I guess, part of legislation. It just seems like you're really doing a lot of good. And for people who are not familiar with you, Chris, can you tell the folks listening, how you got into this work and how you became to be the most famous person who wears a billboard and gets arrested and such.
I look completely ridiculous, but somehow I get respect from amazing people like you. So for 5 years, I have been on a mission to stop what I consider to be the greatest child abuse scandal in the history of modern medicine. It's one of the craziest things that's ever gone on in the human race. The practice of trying to change the sex of children with puberty blocking drugs, cross-sex hormones, and surgeries.
Which really became popular, after the Obama administration, like 2010s, you'd say?
It was picking up steam then. 2015, it really started to take off. There's a few contributing factors to this. One was the end of the gay rights movement, where all these NGOs, they achieved their goals.
The end? Yeah, right, because the gays could get married, they could adopt
all
kids.
That stuff, all across the West, really by 2015, pretty much. So then what are all these NGOs sitting on billions of dollars going to do? They moved to the next cause. And the next cause for them was trans rights. And they've succeeded in conflating trans rights with gay rights when it's really a totally different thing. And they've succeeded in turning what is a mental health issue into a civil rights movement. And so with all this money behind them, and it's not just these NGOs, this is pushed by governments, this is pushed by intergovernmental bodies like the UN and the World Health Organization.
School boards,
schools, everywhere. And then you had, concurrent with that, you had really the rise of social media, where kids, the first generation ever, were growing up on social media. You have this massive increase in autism, and a ton of these kids who say they're trans are also autistic. And it's just this perfect storm that's resulted in this social contagion primarily affecting girls, whereas gender dysphoria, or this distress about our sex, it used to affect a handful of kids, maybe 1 out of 30,000, and mostly boys.
Right.
Now it's completely flipped. It's mostly girls. It's 3-to-1 girls versus boys at these gender clinics. And there's no truth to any of it. There's no such thing as a transgender child. They're called girls and boys.
How radical.
And the positive message, the affirming message, is that they're beautiful just as they are. No drugs or scalpels needed. Gender affirming care, the euphemism that the left uses, is really sex denying harm. That's what it is. And the only thing it's affirming is self-hatred.
When I was growing up, gender affirming treatment was called go with your mom to the mall and buy a push-up bra, okay? Then you will feel more like a woman. And we did that, and it worked.
Yeah, I didn't do that. But I like it. Sounds good.
Or go to Sephora.
I'm sure that's gender affirming for all the teenage boys who also like it.
Okay. Or go to Sephora and get your makeup done. I don't know.
Yeah.
Why does it affect more? Why have the statistics flipped from just a handful of boys to now mainly girls? And now it's such a social contagion. Girls, we used to just go to the bathroom in groups, and now they transition in groups.
Yeah, you'll see pictures, I've tweeted this out before, of a boys trip, and it's 4 trans-identified females all taking their testosterone shots together. Totally insane. But girls are historically more prone to social contagions. It's just part of the female
We're
makeup.
easier to sigh up. We're dumb that way.
Well, whatever it is, and it can be hard for girls growing up.
In the 90s,
they have a harder time with puberty,
Everyone was buying the Topsy Tail, and I fell victim. I bought it,
What's a Topsy Tail?
It's this plastic hoop where you stick it through your ponytail and you pull it through, and it flips your ponytail inside out. That was the craziest thing I was doing as a teenager.
Better than testosterone.
But everybody had one. So
yeah. So now you've got this ideology being pushed by all these different governmental bodies and NGOs, funded inorganically. This didn't take off all organically. This was funded with a lot of money behind it, pushed into schools, part of the comprehensive sex education program that the UN is pushing. And
why is the UN pushing it? Just because there's so much money, or that it's really just a global issue?
So it's the same everywhere. It's a minority of people in society who have fallen for what I call the cult of gender. So The theory of this is that we all have a gender identity, and that your gender identity may or may not coincide with your sex. So what is a gender identity, Chrissie?
Well, for me, I would like to fit back into my pre-pregnancy clothes so I can identify as female again instead of beanbag chair, which is my current gender. I'll lose the weight.
Yeah, that can be a gender because there's an infinite amount of genders apparently. But I asked this question somewhat facetiously because I know there is no real answer to this question, because I've asked this question tens of thousands of times out on the street, because that's what I do. I go out on the street, I wear a sign that says children cannot consent to puberty blockers, and I talk to people. I go to university campuses, I travel around the world, I film these conversations, I upload them. These days they get seen a lot and it's helping to educate people. But this whole thing is just a lie. The entirety of gender ideology is based on nothing but lies. There's no such thing as a gender identity. If you were to try to define it, and when people try to define this on the left, they'll usually use a circular definition.
Like it's how you feel.
Yeah, or they'll say, well, it's your gender that is dependent on stereotypes. I'll ask, what does it mean for a girl to be a boy? And they'll say, well, girls like, or actually, this was a woman on the boardwalk in New Jersey last year. I said, what does it mean for a boy to feel like a girl? Or to be a girl? And she said, well, girls like nail polish and pink and long hair. I said, okay, if a boy likes nail polish,
he's goth.
Does that make him a girl?
Or emo. Yeah.
And they know that's ridiculous. But if you look at the most used resource in the world, it's this cute little image of a gingerbread man called the genderbread person.
Oh, I've seen that.
This thing's everywhere. It's in children's hospitals. They use it to teach nurses in children's hospitals about gender identity. And this is just an activist produced material. Mm-hmm. But it defines your gender identity as being based on your personality, your job, hobbies, likes, dislikes, roles in society, and expectations upon you.
All things that can change.
And so what if you want to have a boy job? Does that make you a boy?
I've always wanted to be like an offshore fisherman. Maybe I'm a man.
Maybe you're a man. I mean, being a comedian is typically...
It's very much a boy's game.
Yeah. So maybe you have part male gender identity. Maybe you're a little fluid. This is how ridiculous this thing is. Boy toys, boy sports, boy clothes do not make you a boy.
It's true. The baby, we went to a friend's house for a barbecue, and the baby has never really seen anything pink or dolls, but the first toy he picked up was our friend's kid's pink doll. It actually was the same one. Have you seen the viral video of the doll that spins and then it goes into the fire and burns up, and the girl's like, oh no, it was that doll. But he was just carrying it around the party. Does that mean he's really a girl?
Only if his mother has borderline personality disorder.
I don't think. I mean, does being a comedian make you BPD? I hope not.
I'm joking, but actually there's a study in the past, 52% of the mothers of these boys had BPD.
They're trying to live vicariously. They're trying to get woke points through their kids, which is so tragic. And weirdly enough, if you look at, a bunch of Hollywood types and their kids, why are so many kids of Hollywood people all trans? It's a disproportionate amount.
Yeah, it's the fashionable cool thing.
Yeah.
And I tweeted out these videos from Boston Children's Hospital a few years ago. We have the director of the Gender Multi-Specialty Clinic at Boston Children's Hospital, the #1 ranked pediatric hospital in the United States of America. And she's saying it's things like a little girl who tries to pee standing up.
We've all tried it. We've all been to Girl Scout camp.
Of course.
And ruined a couple pants that way.
A boy peeing sitting down. Playing with opposite gender toys, and trying on a sibling's clothing. These are all signs that your child is transgender and can be treated. So this whole thing's insane. And it's all based on stereotypes. Regressive stereotypes, which we all got away from in the 80s and 90s. And now they've come roaring back. And the funny thing about this is when you talk to these crazy leftists and you say that there's no right or wrong way to be a girl or a boy, they all agree with you. If you say we shouldn't be putting kids in some stereotypical box, they all agree with you. But they're the ones pushing stereotypes to such a degree that if a child doesn't conform to them, we're now supposed to stop their development with chemical castration drugs, the opposite sex hormones, and cut off their body parts.
Which won't grow back, by the way. We're not starfish.
They don't. No. Yeah, that's right.
You can't just pause puberty, which is what the doctors would tell you. Like, oh, you're just hitting pause and then you can resume whenever. No, what are you going to resume it when you're 35 or something? No.
Right. It doesn't come back.
Nope.
So I was talking to this guy today, a guy with boobs. He came up to me. I was standing near Stonewall.
They're called moobs. Oh, Stonewall. I used to do a show there for 6 years before I became, a horrible Trump supporter and ousted by my comedy peers.
Oh, you're bad. But yeah, this guy with moobs came up to me and he gave me the usual line, puberty blockers are reversible.
So you were standing with your sign outside Stonewall?
Yeah.
This was recently?
Today.
Oh, man, I should have come out there with you.
With Paula Scanlon, who was on William Thomas's swim team at UPenn.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she had to be in the changing room with that guy 18 times a week.
I would just pick the locker furthest away.
Yeah, she stayed as far away as possible. But this guy came up to me and he told me that they're reversible. And it's the same old line. They only ever have two things. They say that kids are going to kill themselves if we don't transition them.
Or do you want a dead daughter or an alive son?
That's right.
Or vice versa.
They coerce parents that way. Mm-hmm. Or they say that these things are reversible, that it just buys time for the child to explore their gender identity. That's a sales pitch. I've heard this a million times. It's literally right out of all their materials that they use. These people aren't thinking on their own. They're just parroting everything they've heard. And of course, that's not true because these kids go on puberty blockers. Yes, if they stayed on them for only a couple months and came off, puberty would resume and there wouldn't be too much damage done.
But your voice gets permanently lowered, like for these girls.
With the testosterone almost right away.
Yeah, and that doesn't go right back.
Yeah, it doesn't come back. It might come back a little bit. But no, it's forever deeper. And when these kids show up to the gender clinic, they're not in this state of exploring their gender identity. They're fully bought in that they were born in the wrong body, which itself is such an abusive thing.
Or their parents have convinced them that they were born in the
Yeah,
wrong
or their
body.
friends online.
Yeah.
Most likely. There's always an online component.
Or they're confused, or they were like oftentimes abused, and then they see like a beautiful, seemingly thriving trans person on YouTube, and they go, "Oh, that person has it together.
100%.
This is what I should do."
Majority of these kids have autism. According to the English gender clinic in England, the Tavistock, 35% of the kids had moderate to severe autism. Never mind the mild cases. There's a law firm in Texas. These 4 dads all left their previous firms to sue for all these young people who've been harmed. And they're looking at 150 cases right now, and in virtually every case, the child has autism.
Why does autism make you more prone to the trans stuff?
They're not fitting in. They're a bit quirky. They're a little different, and they get fixated on things as well. So maybe they're not having the best time in life because it's never just autism. It's oftentimes other things. This systematic review of all the scientific literature was done in England, and they found that 70% of these kids had 5 or more coexisting mental health comorbidities. So there's autism, but then there's also sexual abuse. And there's a parent in more than half the cases who's not in the picture. Either they're divorced or deceased. Kids in foster care are way overrepresented. Eating disorders, BPD, whatever. So it's a mix of things. But then this ideology comes along. They're lonely. They're online. And they run into these other people online who say, yeah, the reason you're having so much distress and why you don't like puberty and all that is because you were born in the wrong body and you're really trans. And a lot of these kids too, they would just grow up to be same-sex attracted. All the studies that were done before we started drugging these kids, back when this affected a handful of the population, the majority grew up to be gay. And it was mostly boys. So it was these effeminate little boys. A lot of them grew up to be gay. Now we're telling them they're trans.
They're actually women. They're straight women.
Right.
They just need to, get their parents to spend tens of thousands of dollars and then makes them, a lifetime, basically, medical project. Yeah. And then but you're actually straight, but you have to change yourself. You weren't born right.
Right. So whether it's online combined with school, wherever, these kids are indoctrinated to believe that the reason for their discomfort is because they were born in the wrong body. They're simultaneously led to believe that your parents are dinosaurs and they're not going to understand. And so now when the parents come along and they try to help their kid, well, they've already got this wedge that's been driven between them and their parents. And if they're autistic, they're going to fixate more on this solution that's been presented to them. And then we don't get a lot of pushback in society either, because the entire psychotherapeutic profession, all the psychologists at school, the counselors, try to find one that's not simply affirming this, because all of these professions, all these psychiatrists, they don't question it.
It's because they make money off of it, right?
Well, they are making money off
Ultimately.
it, but this is also like a religion. And these are a lot of true believers.
But I just feel like a lot of them wouldn't put their own kids through that, or a lot of them that say, oh, it doesn't, you won't be permanently. It's like, well, why don't you go on cross-sex hormones and see what it does to you for a few months or
I think
years?
they would. These aren't people like you and me. So if we look at the president of the World Professional Association for Transgender Health, it's a man who says he's a woman named Marcy Bowers. So he has fully bought into this because he transitioned himself. He's done 2,000 vaginoplasties.
What?
He does them on boys, minors as well. He did.
That's disgusting.
He helped do the one on Jazz Jennings when Jazz was still a minor. You know the show I Am Jazz?
Yeah.
On TLC for 10 years or whatever. They celebrated this little boy's transition on TV for a decade, and then did this surgery where they castrated him, inverted his penis.
I believe it's called turning a pole into a hole. I was a women's studies minor, and that's what we called it.
We call that gender studies now.
Yeah.
But yeah, they invert the penis. I'm sorry, this gets really gross, but because he was on puberty blockers, his genitals had never grown.
So there was nothing there.
So there's not enough tissue
Yeah.
to do the inversion to get the depth that they want. I'm sorry, this is graphic. So what do? In his case,
Ugh.
they cut out some of his peritoneum, which is the stomach lining.
Whoa.
Sometimes they cut out.
I feel like you would need that.
Yeah, I'd say so. Sometimes they cut out some of their colon, and they line the
Is it
interior.
really that important? It's worth cutting out your insides and other organs? That's so crazy.
Yeah, and he's 17. And since he was little, his crazy mom taught him that he was a girl. So what chance did he have? He had no chance.
So he's been on some kind of drug since what?
From the moment he hit puberty.
Oof.
So it's the technical term is Tanner stage 2. When you begin puberty, kids are going to be different ages, but it's like 10, 11, 12, 13. So the
That's so
theory
sad.
behind this is it would be too traumatic for a child to develop because that would make it hard for them to pass
Right.
later.
But ironically, to do this crazy surgery, you need to have gone through puberty so that you can have whatever equipment they can flip inside out to make you a fake.
But they'll never do that because then they'd have to go through puberty.
Ugh.
And then these boys would have a deep voice and broad shoulders and all that stuff. They would grow up. And what else would happen? They'd actually grow out of it.
Yeah.
The last big study, the biggest one that was ever done, had 139 boys in it that they followed from when they were 5 all the way into their 20s. Before they were drugging these kids. And it was just boys. 87.8% of them grew out of it when they went through puberty. The cure for gender dysphoria was puberty.
That's funny.
Now we block the cure.
It keeps them confused. It keeps them...
And then you lock them in.
Yep.
Because as soon as they start the puberty blockers, they go on to the cross-sex hormones. Now they bought in. They're committed now. They can't back out.
Because that's a scary unknown. Like, that's going to be dangerous and weird. And
They
who
almost
knows?
never back out.
Yeah.
Because they've bought into this. And they have this whole support group around them, telling them how wonderful, this is so great,
And then
you're
if
so
you
brave.
if
you're
you back
studying.
out all those, you lose the support of all those people if you detransition.
And they start actively vilifying you,
Mm-hmm.
as we see with all the detransitioners. And so are they getting happier? No, but they keep chasing to the next step. So then they need the surgery. And then they get to be 25 years old and they've got all these health problems and all this love bombing from all these friends that they were getting, just like in a cult. Well, they're not around anymore. They've grown up and they're getting married. And now you got these 25-year-olds who are infertile because puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones sterilize these kids. And like this doctor from British Columbia, where I'm from, we had all these documents that were leaked about a year and a half ago. They're called the WPATH files, the World Professional Association for Transgender Health. All these leaked documents and video recordings. And this doctor in BC, he says on video that he follows these kids into their 20s and they come in for an appointment and they're upset because, they're 25 now and they can't have kids and they want to have a family. And he says so callously, yeah, the dog's not doing it for you, is it?
What?
As though having a dog is a replacement for having children.
To what extent do they warn these kids about
They
what's
don't.
going to happen? They don't at all. They don't mention it.
It's on the consent form these kids sign.
The fine print.
But, and there's other videos in these WPATH files too. And people can go to my website. I'll have it up there. I have a new website, actually, wespeaktruth.com. But I forget, I just lost my train of thought. Oh,
when they're 25, they want to have a family.
And they know that the regret rate is there. And they know also that you're talking to this 14-year-old and this doctor's talking about this. They got this young kid in front of them and they bring up fertility. They bring up babies. What's the kid's reaction? Ooh, babies, gross.
Right, because you're 11, 10. You're not thinking about that.
Yeah, and the doctor admits, those are literally his words. He admits, yeah, you can't have this conversation with them. I mean, they're just little kids. They don't want to have kids. So they know that they can't consent to any of this.
Wow.
But they keep doing it anyway because these people are true believers. We look at Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, which has just been shut down because of Trump's executive order, which we're getting to.
The whole hospital shut down.
The gender clinic.
Wow.
And this was the busiest one in the States. But the woman that runs that, Johanna Olsen Kennedy, she's married to a woman who identifies as a man. That woman she's a social worker, and she runs the biggest place in Los Angeles for all these struggling kids when they come to see her as a social worker. It's like
a sanctuary state, right? You can basically, without the consent of your parents, I think.
Yeah, from any other state, you can go there. But it's just like this funnel to the social worker. She convinces them, yeah, you're trans, and then she sends them to her spouse.
They're in cahoots.
They are, but they're also true believers. Kaiser Permanente, they just shut this down nationwide. I broke this news last week because one of their employees leaked an email to me.
Wow.
But they're not doing surgeries anymore on kids under 19. But there's this woman named Kellen Lackhart. I've tweeted out this video many times. She admits, she's asked a question at this conference. She was asked, what's the youngest you've ever done these surgeries on kids? And she admits that they've done these surgeries on 12-year-old girls, double mastectomies, and 16-year-old boys for these vaginoplasties. Having started the process, she says, at 15. And I think she's probably referring to hair removal or something there because they have to do that 6 months to a year in advance. But
like laser removal or something?
Yeah, otherwise
then you get hair on the inside of your
and it causes infections. And,
yeah.
Same thing with the forearms for these girls, they'll make a fake phallus.
Right.
They'll literally carve off basically half of their forearm, fatty tissue, the veins, everything, mold it into a fake phallus, which they then sew onto the child's groin and pull the urethra through. And same thing there, they have to do.
Who did I have on the show who didn't believe me when I say they're growing penises on arms, Matt? Remember, I was talking about this. I couldn't explain it as eloquently as Chris here, but I was like, they're growing penises on arms. Yeah, maybe it was Gino.
Yeah, they're literally just shaving off half the tissue of their forearm and fashioning that into a phallus so that they can pee standing up.
But then it'll eventually get decroded. Is that a word? And fall off.
Necrosis.
Oh, right.
That's happened. A young man, I think he was 19, died a year or two ago because he developed necrotizing fasciitis after this surgery. They couldn't stop it from spreading, and he died.
That's
not the first one, by the way. But yeah, so this whole thing is crazy. This is gross.
It's so
despicable.
Crazy. And it's so, God, the rate of complication is through the roof.
Yeah, I don't want to get into all that stuff, but they develop these things called fistulas where they literally have like this, I mean, it's close quarters down there between your urinary tract and whatever. So they develop these fistulas. It's a passageway from their urinary tract into their fake vagina, and they're leaking urine all day long.
Sounds fun.
And it gets infected, and they try to fix it.
Wait, there's plenty of time for that when you're old and you're peeing yourself anyway.
That's right. Have a bunch of babies, you'll start peeing yourself.
Or after you give birth, it happens.
So that's all insane, and I've always been confident that we can put a stop to this medical abuse pretty quickly, and we are in the States. A few other countries have also made great progress, like in the UK, Sweden, Finland, Norway. But much of Europe is still a mess. Australia's a mess. Canada's a mess.
Why? Why are they kind of like late to wake up on this?
They're run by leftists who insist on dying on this hill. Why won't any of the Democrats speak up about this? Because they possess a hive mind. They all have to have the same opinions about everything. And this is apparently in social justice land, this is the progressive opinion to teach children that they were born wrong.
Right, because
need to change their body.
And this is all just because the gays got everything they wanted and needed, right? So they had to move on to the next oppressed group.
That's right. I always say the left doesn't want a revolution. They want to exist in a perpetual state of revolution. So it's always on to the next thing. It's been this way since the 60s. And this is the latest thing, but they've gone too far. And I think for the first time in these 60, 70 years, conservatives are having fantastic success pushing back. But it all starts with awareness. So my job is to create awareness amongst people. And I have faith that when I do that, great people will come along and wear their hats as lawyers, doctors, whatever, politicians, to put a stop to this. And I'm making friends all over the world. I just met with about 20 MPs and senators in Australia.
Wow.
I was just in the European Parliament a couple months ago, I held a round table there with about 9 reps from different countries.
Wow.
And then I got put in jail, in a Belgian jail.
How did that happen?
Well, I went out on the street wearing a sign that says children cannot consent to puberty blockers.
And you thought, oh, it's Belgium. Probably people will offer me chocolate on the street. It'll be delightful.
I'd been out a couple days before and I knew it was crazy there already because most places I go, I get lots of support, especially from the men. Belgium, different story. Very emasculated society.
Wow.
Tons of men giving me a problem.
Really?
One guy threw a glass bottle at me. It landed behind me, smashed on the ground right near a 5-year-old girl.
Oh my gosh.
Whose father then ripped into that guy. But everywhere I was going, and I was with my friend Lois McClatchy-Miller. She's the international spokesperson for the Alliance Defending Freedom International. They're a legal organization representing people in freedom of speech cases and all that sort of stuff. They're amazing. But I was out on the street with her in this public square in Brussels, which is the home of the European Union. It's where the parliament is.
And the home of the Brussels sprouts.
That's right. And chocolate. And we were getting tons of abuse. This man was following her everywhere she was going as she was trying to film for me. And he wouldn't leave her alone. And all these other people were just being very abusive. And I got tired of it, especially this guy following her around. So we called the police. Police came, formed a circle around us, about 14 of them, decided we were the problem, told me and Lois to take the signs off and leave, and I refused.
Wow. Did she have the signs on too, or she just was filming?
Yeah, she had a sign saying, it's one of my signs, it said, children are never born in the wrong body. And we refused to take them off, because even in Europe, you're allowed freedom of expression. According to the Belgian constitution, you're allowed freedom of expression, and there's some gray area. It comes with caveats. It's not like the First Amendment here, but I'm more than willing to take my chances in a court of law. And the cop made it sound like we were just going to get a fine. He said we need to get a permit from the mayor for holding a demonstration. And I'm not holding a demonstration. I'm just having conversations. The signs are just a conversation starter.
It like as if you were wearing a t-shirt with the same phrase.
That's right. It's literally just a conversation starter. I don't consider myself a protester. I've had some, but I'm just there to have conversations. I don't approach people. For me, this is like fishing. I stand there quietly and I wait for people to approach. And
people wear the billboards that say, "Oh, there's a sale," or like soup samples inside this store.
Yeah, I'm one of those crazy people.
Like a sample
advertising
sport.
Little Caesars pizzas.
Yeah, you're basically, this inflatable, like they're at a gas station,
Gumby.
and it's like you're just like that.
That's me wearing a sport coat. Though.
Yep.
Yeah. And so anyway, I thought we were getting a fine. They arrested us, threw us in the police van, took us to the police station. Then we were told we were now being charged with what translates as causing a disturbance. So we were then handcuffed, put in another police van.
Were you, like, you've been through a lot of situations like this, but I feel like the woman you were with, was she freaking out? Was she getting nervous?
So she was amazing. Lois McClatchy-Miller, follow her on X because she's awesome. But so we were handcuffed. I was handcuffed behind. She was handcuffed in front, which I was a little jealous of.
Because you can jump over could you do human jump rope? Could you I wonder. Let me see if I could do that.
Well, if they were behind me, I can't do that. Maybe a female could.
Oh, no.
This is good.
No, you get stuck. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. You really, okay, now I know that. All right.
And it's not the most comfortable thing, but it was hilarious. I didn't see this because I was already taken out to the next police van. But this police officer who was being a bit of a jerk to me on the street too, he kept taking my camera away. I had it on a tripod.
Oh, that's
And
what I was wondering.
He
if
kept
it's
taking it
always-
away and moving it.
Is it always on a tripod, or do you sometimes have somebody holding it?
It's almost always just me out on the streets. I'll go
Wow.
out with one person sometimes. I don't like a big crowd.
I'm amazed your camera's not getting kicked down like every time.
Oh, that happens. People have tried to steal it. I've had to catch them and stuff. But he kept moving it, and he can't do that. I'm allowed to film. And so he didn't like that she was handcuffed in front. And it was funny because she has very small wrists. And so she just slipped
She
her
could just
wrists
slide
right
them
out.
out. Ah! That's awesome.
He didn't like that. But then we got taken to this other police station where all of our possessions were processed. We were strip searched separately, of course.
Jeez.
I'm standing there in my underwear with this jailer.
Now, when you do these, now it's like when you do these demonstrations, not demonstrations, but like when you have these conversations, is it ever a thought like, man, I must be wearing good underwear in case I have to get strip searched? You know, like you don't want
I'm always wearing good underwear.
to. Okay. You never know. Because my mom always said, like, you know,
Chrissie.
never wear
have
your
standards.
questionable underwear.
Yeah, never
throw it out.
Never tighty whities.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too risky. But yeah, I'm sitting there in my ginch and he says to me, "So are you like Charlie Kirk?" No, Charlie's a way bigger deal.
Are you like Charlie Kirk?
But they don't know who you are. You're like
Yeah.
some street person.
You're like, I'm way taller and better looking.
That's true. No, he's taller. He's very tall.
What? You're like 7 feet tall.
I'm 6'2" and a bit. Charlie's like 6'5".
Damn. You know, it's like I'm so short
And he's
that
got the
after a
hair.
certain height, it just doesn't register.
Yeah, you have very small feet too. I think.
Thank you.
Nice.
I'm on WikiFeet.
Very petite.
Check it out.
Oh,
Don't
I'm not gonna.
don't
do
check
that.
it out.
I'm
I
not
used to be a shoe model,
gonna do
so. But they'll just they'll post pictures of your feet. These
Yeah.
WikiFeet
You don't
people
wanna
are
put-
relentless. They'll
Women don't put your feet on. the
don't do
internet.
it.
Yeah.
If I could go back to my younger self, I would say censor those dogs.
So anyway, we got put in jail, and then they let us out at 9 p.m. We're in there for 2-3 hours, and guess what happened after all that, Chrissie?
They let you out.
No ticket, no charge. They confiscated my signs, and I'm told they were sent for destruction, and they just let us out.
How many signs do you have? Like, how many copies of these signs are there?
Well, when I travel, they go in a box. I usually take 10, 15 with me.
Really? Because you know that some of them will get destroyed.
Sometimes people destroy them, or they put stickers on them, or sometimes they get seized. That's happened a few times. I've been arrested 3 times now and put in jail. But it hadn't happened for a long time. But the Belgian jail was nice because I was able to talk to Lois. She was in the cell next to me.
Wow. What is it like? What's
I
jail
could see
like?
out. So
Okay.
unlike in
What
Vancouver,
was your
Canada,
view like?
where I've been arrested twice, you're just in a white concrete room and you can't see anything.
Whoa.
And I start to go crazy after a couple hours.
Do they give you coloring books? Any kind of
No,
anything?
nothing. There's just a mat
Ugh.
that many people have sat on. So I'm not going to lay on that thing. But I was
You
able
know,
to talk
you
to her
can't-
through the bars. She was just, on the other side of the wall.
You can't play like Candy Crush or anything.
No, you don't get anything.
Ugh.
And in Vancouver, they only give you one pillow and it's very thin.
Whoa.
It's no good.
It's not on
I
my
asked
pillow.
for 2 pillows the last time I got arrested there and they wouldn't give me one.
Oh no. That sounds really demoralizing.
But each time I was arrested in Vancouver, it was after getting assaulted, which is crazy, but that's what they do. Instead of dealing with all the Antifa people, they just get rid of the peaceful guy. But they've learned their lesson in Vancouver because there's been a lot of things happen to me there and they've received literally thousands of complaints.
Wow.
Thousands and thousands. I've run into police officers who've told
From
me.
who? Who's complaining?
Oh, people who have seen my mistreatment online. I had one video that was seen about 40 million times where I was assaulted in front of 36 police officers. And that one, they got a few thousand phone calls.
Wow.
Sebastian Gorka helped me out. Because
Gorky. We love Gorky.
live on air with me in his studio, he called the Vancouver Police Department and he walked everyone through what buttons
That's
to hit.
awesome.
And then he left a complaint. So then, probably.
My name's Sebastian Gorka.
Yeah.
I'm here to complain. Do we have that clip, Matt? Other
Yes.
Matt? Let's show the people. This got viewed 40 million times.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Just on mine.
That's a big deal.
I picked up 70 or 80,000 followers the next couple days.
Wow.
It was a good day.
This happened, and this was in 2023, April 1st.
March 31st. I
Oh.
posted this the next day. So I had gone to this Transgender Day of Visibility thing just because I don't like people celebrating on the streets of my city child abuse. So sometimes I go out to these things.
And okay, so this is British Columbia.
And I got assaulted right away. My nose was already bleeding
Wow.
because someone knocked my sign up into my face. And so I called the police. And this young female blonde police officer showed up. And right away I knew she was a problem. I won't bore you with all the details, but it was apparent immediately this person's not on my side. And she refused to do anything about it. And then over the next hour, about 3 dozen more police arrived because it was crazy. And then this all unfolded.
Oh, hit it.
Warning, language.
Language. Okay.
Why do you think they're getting that kind of representation?
So see that woman smiling just by his toque? By his beak?
Yes, I see that.
Yeah. So that's a man. And then on my left, there's another man who
Yeah,
also...
that's so obviously a
I
dude.
don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I guess these police officers are mostly indoctrinated
So these
as well.
two men start
of the mob.
screaming F you, F you, F you. I can't
they're
hear
afraid
anything.
that if they
Oh,
do
put your
anything
headphones
to
on.
actually
Whoops.
keep
I mean,
law
at
and
the
order,
time, I couldn't...
Let's
It's louder than it seems. 'cause
Okay,
they're
let's
screaming in
rewind
your
it.
ear.
I want the play-by-play.
All right.
Right, because there is a cop. I remember there's a cop, a smaller cop lady. You'll see her in the back smirking. And what's PFT? They were just interviewing you.
Press for Truth. That's
Okay.
his company.
Why do you think they're getting that kind
Wow.
of representation? I mean, it's clearly was aggressive, violent assault.
You suck. You suck. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're not wanted. Fuck you. You're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking.
I don't know what to say.
Really
I
good
guess
points
these
he's
police
making.
officers are mostly indoctrinated as well.
Everyone here.
They're afraid of the mob.
Because you're a
I
fucking
think-
idiot.
So that's another dude on my left.
How
that
do you
if they
keep
do
a straight
anything to
face? Like,
actually-
how do you? You're so good under pressure. Like, I don't know. How do you not burst out into like laughter at this person? How do you, like, you're able to focus to actually like finish a conversation with this guy? Like, you have someone like yammering right here, a huge dude with long hair.
And on my, you can't see him, but on my other side too. And then I end up getting pulled. I end up getting punched a couple times by him. He pulls on my shirt, and then the other guy pushes simultaneously. So
I think I have seen this.
I take a
clip.
tumble at the end here, but
How do you?
I'd already walked away from this mob twice to try
And-
to give this
but they
interview,
just come
and they
find
just keep
you.
following.
Yeah.
And so technically, I'm already being assaulted. Technically, you can't yell in someone's ear from inches away.
That's considered assault.
Yes,
Interesting.
like you're allowed to have your space. You can't just walk up to someone and start screaming in their ear.
Even if they're Italian and they go, "This is part of my culture."
Maybe if they're Italian. But one of these screams, it was very close and it hurt a little bit. So I put my hand up. I didn't even push, but I can't even move because I got people all around me
Wow.
and I want a little space. And then they take that as an invitation to assault.
Wow.
So my back was already spasming too. My back was out this day, but I take a tumble. And as I'm falling down, you can see the police officer smiling ear to ear.
Oh my gosh.
And they didn't even arrest the guy.
Let-
But it was
okay,
already on this day, another guy had been thrown to the ground, an older man
oh
who
no.
came out to support me, and another friend of mine got punched in the back of the head.
Whoa.
No arrests for any of this stuff.
That's horrible. And this is all in British Columbia.
Yeah.
Fuck
Keep
you.
law and order.
Fuck you.
That
Fuck you.
They'll end up being on the end of this verbal abuse.
Like, at least make one point. You're not doing much for your side.
People probably want to know, how do you keep your composure?
What's that?
How do you keep your composure?
Yeah, they're closing in. Ugh, I hate this.
She's smiling. See her? She's still smiling.
What a jerk.
and
How unprofessional.
so she's my investigating officer. She's the only one that will talk to me. I'm not allowed to talk to these other ones because she's the one that's going to be doing the file. And someone sent me a picture. She got in a whole bunch of trouble. And then there was an internal investigation as well into her. But someone sent me a picture from her Facebook of inside her kitchen. She had a calendar from the Communist Party of China in her kitchen.
Oh my God.
Legitimately.
Wow. I wonder if
She's a trans activist in uniform.
like the CCP, they also send her, you know, when you like give money and they give you back like the, like your address stickers for free. They'll send you like return address stickers. I don't know.
Yeah, so
Wow,
that was
that's
that was a bit
really
crazy, and they didn't even charge him.
This got 40 million views. So all these cops are standing by, letting these people assault you, scream at you, and then push you over. And then they're like, "Oh, I guess we better do something."
They didn't do anything. Nothing.
They're just walking around.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
Did this hurt?
No, I was fine.
Yeah.
I landed kind of awkwardly on my tailbone, and my back was already out. But
Your science
whatever.
broke your
I used
fall.
to play sports. I'm used to falling all the time. It's no
What
big
did
deal.
you play?
Soccer.
Wow.
I was center back.
I don't know anything
Right.
about soccer.
My job was to shut down the skilled forward on the other team,
Oh, wow. Okay.
but I wasn't the most skilled, so I just used my speed and physicality.
But now all your
Knock
soccer
people over.
skills are paying off.
Maybe.
So after this clip goes viral, that department gets thousands of complaints.
Yeah.
And people were fired, hopefully.
Nope.
No one's fired.
Nothing.
Anyone get a stern talking to?
So almost a year later, I got a call that they were doing an internal investigation into her, but I never heard what came out of it.
Wow.
She'd had some other issues too previously with some people. There was an interesting story. A woman, I think an indigenous woman, her son had gone missing. I think he was an adult at the time, but young. And he'd been missing for a few days, and they found out he'd passed away somehow. So she showed up to this indigenous woman's house and just super callously, as soon as she opened the door, said, your son's dead. And the woman collapsed to the floor. Like, just no.
You have to sit them down.
Yeah, just.
Tea has to be involved, I think. A cookie.
She's got issues, clearly. That
That's
officer.
horrible.
She shouldn't be a police officer. But I'm kind of used to this in Canada. I had my arm broken in Montreal, and police wouldn't investigate that either. You've got that video too.
Let's play that video, Matt.
So let me.
Wait, I feel like you were still talking about the Belgian jail.
Oh yeah, Belgian jail. It was great. I had fun. My biggest worry was. So I knew we were going to have a ton of support come in, and I knew that they didn't really know who they were arresting. Not to toot my own horn, but I've got a lot of support. The State Department put out a statement after that. I was going to go to Germany right after that, but I ended up going to the White House and the State Department for meetings
Cool.
because they didn't like what happened.
Wow.
And we had lawyers there in the station. I didn't know at the time. I was sitting in the cell, but Lois had managed to make a phone call to her organization, so they had lawyers there. And anyway, they just let us go. Probably the dumbest thing they could do, really, because all it does is bring more attention to this cause and show how
Wow.
censorious they are. But going forward, I'm going to be doing a lot more work in Europe. I actually just won a big freedom of speech case against the Australian government as well a few months ago.
Yeah, you were saying. So did you? Before we switch topics, did
Yeah.
you? What was the Belgian jail like? You said
So Belgian jail, I could see out, which was great. It's not so claustrophobic. And I was just singing songs, honestly.
And you had a cellmate. Well,
and
the next cell
I could
over.
talk to her. Yeah, so we just talked for an hour or two. And she's my buddy for life now because
You're
when you go to jail together,
buddies. Yeah. Did you get matching tattoos?
I don't have any tattoos.
Okay. Well, it's never too late to start.
But I was more worried about her, to be honest, because I'm an old guy. I'm almost 50.
That's not old.
She's at the time 29. And if she wants to become a lawyer, we thought we were being charged. And I wasn't that worried about it. But even if you're charged, it can affect your ability as a lawyer or someone who wants to go to law school. If you do end up somehow getting a criminal record, it affects your ability to travel.
Wow.
So I didn't like that she got, I shouldn't say she got roped into this because it's all her choice.
Yeah.
And she's very passionate about this cause as well. And she's her own person. But I don't like when people get in trouble when they're out with me because it's happened quite a few times. I've had people get fired from their jobs just for standing with me and stuff.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. And I was worried about how this could impact her career. That was my biggest worry.
If anything, it's like real world experience. Like, look, I've been to jail. I know what it's like.
Yeah. She's got street cred now.
Yeah, street cred.
Yeah.
It's good. She can vibe with the gangsters.
Yeah, and she handled it amazing. She made peace with whatever was going to happen really quickly. She's a very strong individual.
Cool.
So I was very impressed.
Wow. Were you ever scared at any point?
No, not at all. I don't want a criminal record.
Yeah.
You got to be smart about these things. There's a lot of battles to be fought. This is a war for me. I'm going to be at this for decades, probably. Well, I'm getting older. I'll be at this for the rest of my life.
Until your back gives out.
in some respect.
Yeah.
And I'll be out on the street for 10, 20 years if I have to, as long as my health doesn't fail. But this is a war, and I can't be getting a criminal record because that affects my ability to do other things. So I try to be smart about it. I've had probably 350 police interactions.
Wow.
And no charges.
Wow.
So I know what I'm doing. I read the local laws before I go. I had just had another police interaction where police in Brisbane, Australia moved me out of a public square because this council worker said I was obstructing people, which was a total lie. I film everything. I just beat that as well. They gave me an $806 ticket and told me I had to leave, and I refused. So 12 police officers showed up to that and debated what to do with me for an hour before eventually taking my signs off and forcibly moving me out. They told me I was going to go to jail then too, but they didn't. They just released me. But yeah, I have a lot of adventures out there.
So it helps, to really know the laws backwards and forwards of whatever place you're going to have these conversations.
Yeah, I don't do anything. I just stand there.
Yeah.
Quietly.
You're
I don't
very
approach
peaceful.
people. I don't do anything. I'm just there to have a conversation with someone who wants to have one. If they come up to me.
You just stand around. How long does it usually take for somebody to come up and talk to you?
Oh, it depends where I go, but it's usually pretty much immediate. Sometimes I can't even get 20 feet from my car before people are stopping me. And I can get stuck talking to people for hours straight. So
is it more people want to talk about the subject matter, or are you kind of being recognized? And
it's a subject matter. Yeah. Back home, I get recognized more now. And I get tons of support. But
do you have
pretty much
groupies?
everywhere I go in the world, some people have seen it because of Twitter. Like if they're on gender Twitter, they're seeing it.
Gender Twitter.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I wonder if you have like groupies and they all call themselves like Billboard, whatever their name is. Billboard Jenny.
No.
Billboard Dan.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that.
I think that'd be great.
But it's working. I look ridiculous, but it works.
It really is working. It's exciting. Like you're kind of a hero. Do you feel that way?
No, I'm just a guy having conversations. I'm just a dad. I'm doing the same thing I was doing almost 5 years ago before I was even filming anything. I just started going outside with my target market was to talk to, I'm using marketing terms. I was trying to talk to parents to educate them about this.
What was the first time you went out and was like, I'm going to just talk to random people about this?
Well, I started this campaign with an actual billboard that said, I love J.K. Rowling.
Oh, wow.
I heart J.K. Rowling. And I took inspiration from that.
Where was the billboard?
From a woman in the UK who put up a sign that said that at the Edinburgh train station, and it got taken down for hate speech in July of 2020.
Wow.
And I got tired of our freedom of speech coming under attack. And part of this campaign for me is, of course, this gender nonsense and the child abuse, but it's also about freedom of speech. And I got tired of people being fired from their jobs for acknowledging biological reality, and people felt they couldn't talk about this. And the only discussions about this at the time were online. And people get in echo chambers online. There were hardly any men talking about it.
Why is that?
People didn't know this was happening. But it was mostly women, mostly radical feminists talking about it at the time. And their focus, of course, is on their spaces being invaded. And they should be upset about it. There wasn't a ton of talk about child transition. And I felt we had to take this into the real world, out of the echo chambers, offline, talk to people face to face, because that's how we are supposed to communicate to other human beings.
You tweeted something really astute. It was a quote from somebody, like it was something to the effect of like people get brainwashed in groups, but they learn the truth, or they wake up one by one.
Yeah, let me read that. I'll find it here.
I want everyone to look at how sparkly Chris is.
I'm gender nonconforming. I do this purposely.
Really?
Because I'm on the street sometimes.
Because it looks like it's not your phone.
And the trans activists get thrown a little bit. Plus, I can be sparkly. Why not?
Why not?
There's no right or wrong way to be a girl or a boy.
That's true. A manly man can have a sparkly phone.
Yeah. Where is this tweet?
I think it was.
Here we go. Men, it has been well said, think in herds. It will be seen that they go mad in herds, while they only recover their senses slowly and one by one.
Ooh.
And that is 100% true. And it kind of goes hand in hand with a lie travels around the world while the truth is still putting her pants on. Gender ideology is one big lie. And it's so big that people think there's some legitimacy to it. Because how can it be this big? How can it be in all these school curriculums, pushed by all these governments, pushed by all these international bodies?
They've had, what, like 10 years to really
Yeah,
embed this in society.
that's right. And the whole thing's nonsense.
There's just so much money behind it. And there's so many people who this is their profession in one form or another.
Yeah. And this kind of, this grew in academia for decades. Feminist studies
I
were pushing
remember
this.
I was in college. I mean, I graduated college in 2000, and I was a women's studies minor, and this was something I chose to look into because I was a feminist, and
You
I
were?
I was.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
I was the whole package.
Good for you.
And
I don't know.
I was just interested in these topics, and I was like, really, all these different genders, really, all these different. But it was something like I was choosing to look into at the college level because I just was curious about it, and it was more just like third wave kind of feminist stuff, and more just like philosophy kind of. Nothing was really. People weren't really like changing their pronouns yet. This was like 2005, so like nothing was really happening yet. It was all just like theoretical, and I just found that kind of interesting to read about. And it was more just like women's history, women's literature, ecofeminism. Like it was kind
Gender
of
is a social construct.
yeah, but it wasn't ratcheted up yet. It was just I don't know. It was just
It was just floating around
academia,
academia, being
yeah.
pushed by Judith Butler and all those people.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no truth to it whatsoever. I have this expression, there are two sexes, zero genders, and infinite personalities. Because the left has taken the word gender and they've corrupted it. Gender to the left now means how you feel. If you feel like a boy, then you are a boy. Then your gender is male. Well, what does it mean to feel like a boy? Is there a right way to be a boy? That there's a certain feeling that goes along with that? Of course not.
no. I
This
guess
again comes
I guess
down to
on days
stereotypes.
that I don't shave my legs, I feel like a boy.
There you go.
No, that is.
But
crazy.
how then do you explain all these feminists? Because they
That's
don't-
true. They're tearing around with armpit hair,
Yeah,
face hair. That's really just like the job of being a woman is just make sure that you don't have any hairs growing on your face.
that's right. So anyway, yeah, this whole thing is just totally absurd, but it's so big that it's gained legitimacy and there's tons of money pushing it. And it's all over social media and it's fed from kid to kid.
Where
That's how
was
it spreads.
the first billboard you had? This is I Heart J.K.
Yeah.
Rowling. Where was it?
Vancouver.
Okay.
On the side of the road heading into downtown Vancouver.
What did you spend to get the billboard?
I think I had a contract for 3 months with an option to extend, and I think it was $3,000 a month. It was a COVID deal. And I had to find the location too. The sales guy couldn't find me one. So I drove around for 3 hours one day and I found this empty billboard and I asked him about it. And it used to be one of those ones that turns,
Oh, okay.
but it had just changed to a static billboard. So it wasn't in their system yet. So I got this great location
Wow.
and it lasted one day.
Wait, you had like a 3-month deal and it lasted one day?
Yeah. And I had to pay up front too.
What?
Yeah.
Did they give you a refund?
It took a month. I had to basically yell at them on the phone.
Okay. So
But
what
yeah, I
happened to it?
It got paint bombed overnight. And it's funny because it was supposed to go up right after Labor Day. And I was waiting all week for this thing to go up. And I was actually driving downtown each day to see if it was up.
When you were getting this made, did the people who sell the billboard, like, did they say anything to you? Like, oh, this isn't going to go over well, or...
I said to the guy, his name, I won't say his first name. His name was Mr. Tran. Obviously. I said, this is going to get a lot of attention. And some people aren't going to like it. And he goes, well, we can always ask for forgiveness later. I said, perfect.
That's a great phrase.
But what happened, it was up all day on a Friday. It was actually September 11th. It ended up finally being installed. I didn't want that to be the day.
Because you want people to never forget the billboard.
I didn't want that to be the day. So it took the installers 4 days to get it up.
Okay.
So anyway, no one made a peep about it all day long. And I tweeted it out at about 4:30 p.m. And then it took off, of course, because all the trans activists went crazy.
What did your tweet say? Like, look at this billboard I just did.
I said, I got this swanky billboard in Vancouver, and I thanked J.K. Rowling for speaking out on
Did she
these
see
things.
it?
Oh, I'm sure she has.
Yeah.
But then the trans activists went crazy, and a Vancouver politician, one of the city councilors, said it was hate speech. So she pressured the sign company, and they took it down the
That
next day.
seems like it shouldn't have been allowed.
It shouldn't have.
Like you paid
Yeah.
for it's fair and square.
And they came out, and it's way up in the air. So this guy's up in this boom, and they start covering it up with one panel, and then his machine breaks. And he's stuck up in the air for 2 or 3 hours. I tweeted out, God, is that you? And then they had to bring in another boom to get that guy out, and then they covered it up. And this is all on the weekend. They're paying all these guys overtime to cover
Wow.
up this scary I Love J.K. Rowling sign. So then I was prepared for this, and I leveraged all this outrage online into a quick little fundraising campaign and had another one up in San Francisco the next week.
Nice.
Then Los Angeles, Portland, all throughout Utah, all throughout the metro in Washington, D.C., and then Times Square.
Wow.
So that was all in September of 2020.
How much money did you spend on all these, or how much was raised for all these billboards?
Well, I always made sure I was losing money because I didn't want anyone to say I was grifting. And I even had people hold me accountable, like go through all my receipts and show them my bank account and everything. But the total cost of all these things, Washington, D.C. was pretty expensive. I don't know, 20 grand.
Cool.
Not that much.
You could have bought a whole new wardrobe,
Yeah.
a new car.
Yeah. I need one of those. I'm just a poor activist now. Advocate. But the purpose then too was the same as now. It was to start conversations. And even with that first billboard, it was a big sidewalk. So when that billboard went up, I got my lawn chairs from home and I went and
Cool.
I sat down right underneath the billboard and I talked to people walking by. And then when they took it down, I'm not going to let them win. So I had some signs made. I had another I Love J.K. Rowling sign made that I was going to hold, but it's easier to just wear it.
Yeah.
And the other sign I had made said gender ideology does not belong in schools. Those were my first two. And then I went to the puberty blocker one, and that's my main one. But where they took the billboard down, I went and stood there with the sign.
You're like, I'm just as tall as one anyway. Why not?
You can take it down, but you can't take it off my back. I know my
Wow.
rights. So I went and stood there, and all hell broke loose. People spitting at me and all that sort of stuff. It was insane in the beginning, the amount of abuse. And I was
Wow.
worried people were going to come to my house way out in the suburbs.
Whoa.
So I was sleeping downstairs on the couch to,
That's scary.
make sure I was closer to the front door if something happened or whatever.
That's really scary.
But nothing ever happened like that. And I just started walking around downtown Vancouver having conversations. And then I tried to meet with the Minister of Education in Victoria. I took the ferry over there, and then I traveled to Ottawa to try to meet with people there. None of the politicians want to talk to me. To this day, not one federal politician in Canada has ever spoken with me, except for a few I ran into on the street who were supportive, but they won't do anything publicly.
But you've talked to so many in the U.S. and you're
Tons of support in the
globally.
U.S.
Yeah.
Members of Congress, state senators. I have so much support in the U.S. Tons of support in Australia. They have 5 different parties with seats because they have a different political system. Even a party that only gets 5% of the vote ends up getting some seats. It's proportional representation. In Europe now, I'm making lots of friends. I'm going back there in December. I'll be in the European Parliament for a big event.
Wow.
The UK. So yeah, I'm making friends everywhere. Canadian politicians, they don't want to deal with it. So I'm not going to keep hitting my head against the wall trying to get things done there. I'll go
So are
wherever I
they-
can have success.
They the worst at this point, or the hardest to get through to?
Yeah.
Canada.
They just won't talk about it. The Conservative Party went along with the Liberal Party and they voted unanimously to pass a conversion therapy bill. It's now deemed conversion therapy to help your girl feel comfortable as a girl. If she
Wow.
says she's a boy and wants to transition, it's technically against the law to help her feel comfortable as a girl. You can go to jail for 5 years.
So you can't just get her a push-up bra and take her to Sephora.
No, you have to affirm her gender or you're committing a criminal act.
That is so crazy.
And
to
the
me.
Conservatives voted for that unanimously.
They're spineless
That's correct.
Canadians.
The same laws exist in a lot of Democrat states as well.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so tell me about all these events that you're going to. And actually, we were jumping around a little bit. I wanted to talk about the free speech case you won against the Australian government. This was over a tweet.
Yeah, I think you guys have it if you want to bring it up.
I think we have it.
Teddy Cook. So I'll wait until the viewers can see this, and then I'll talk about it.
Sorry, I have a lot of tabs open.
Yeah, no problem. So,
Did we ever want to show the video of you?
the attack in Montreal.
Oh, yes.
You can do that if you want.
Okay.
I don't like focusing on the negatives a ton because it paints the wrong picture. I get lots of support out there.
Yeah, you're not scrappy. You're not out there starting fights.
No. These guys. So I have the last minute of this. I was out on the street in Montreal, and it was during COVID. There was a curfew of 8 p.m. and this was at 7 p.m. And a woman.
Wow, 8 p.m. people are still having dinner.
It's so insane. Force everyone inside where the COVID actually spreads, right? Like it makes no sense. Anyway, I was walking down the street. This is the big. You can't tell right here because people have already scattered because of this attack going on. But it was a very busy street, and this woman outside a liquor store stopped me, and she got mad at me, and she went into the manager to complain, and he came out and he wanted me to move. And I'm on a public street. I'm not going to move. And the more you tell me to move, the more I'm going to stay in the same spot because I'm stubborn like that. And he said, I'll call the police. And I said, great. So I was actually waiting for police when these guys arrived. There was about 6 of them, I think. And I actually think the manager of the liquor store called his Antifa buddies.
Oh my gosh.
So I got jumped. I didn't know they were coming until I was being punched in the face. They stomped on my body cam in the middle of the street. A few of them have already fled in a car at this point.
Wow.
And 3 of them remain. And this guy picks up a big traffic cone, which I block 4 times with my arm. But I think on the second blow, it broke my forearm.
Whoa. Okay, let's play it real quick.
You want your headphones? Or?
That's okay.
He's like, I lived it.
I know.
You were there, so.
What a bunch of spineless losers.
And I never said a word to these guys. I'd already vowed I was never going to fight back unless I had to because police had already tried to charge me the one time I pushed a guy after getting sucker punched from behind. So police are not on my side in Canada, and I don't want to risk getting a criminal record. So I'm blocking
And who's filming this?
me.
So you're filming this?
I'm filming with my right hand as I'm kind of walking backwards and blocking with my left forearm 4 times.
You
as he's
need
swinging
more
a firearm
arms.
at my head.
Wow.
And then this guy comes and squirts me with mustard.
Mustard?
Yeah, he brought a mustard ball.
Dijon or yellow?
Just yellow.
Ugh.
I would have preferred Dijon with horse
Yeah. Something a little classy.
Am I bleeding?
Oh no. Wow.
So, yeah, if you scroll down a couple tweets, you'll see the arm.
I would never think a traffic cone could break an arm.
Well, the base on those things is very thick.
Yeah.
Keep going. Next
Oh
tweet.
my god. Oh, the mustard. Did the cops
There we go.
get a hot dog bun and wipe it off you? Oh
No,
my
they didn't. So here's the funny thing. And to this date, this is my most surreal moment of this entire 5-year campaign. I get out of the hospital.
You've only been doing this for 5 years?
Not even.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So I get out of the hospital. Technically, you're not allowed to be on the street. So they have to give you like a permission slip. I call a cab and no cab comes. And it's about 1 in the morning now. And there's a snowstorm going on. This is March in Montreal. My car is about 1.5 miles away at McGill University. And I got tired of waiting for a cab. So a guy had come out with me on the street. I didn't know him. I knew him from Twitter. He'd just come out to support me. So he'd taken my jacket to go clean it. So I didn't
Wow.
have a jacket and I couldn't fit my arm in my sleeve. So my arm's like in my shirt, which
Oh,
is
wow.
hanging open. And I had to walk 1.5 miles back to my car through this ghost town of Montreal. Not a soul. It
Wait,
was
where did he take your coat? To like a cleaner's?
just to his house. They just put it in the wash.
Was it really that bad?
Oh yeah, I was totally covered with mustard.
Ugh.
And I'll just never forget it. I'm the only person on the streets of Montreal, big city, and I'm the only one. And it's snowing. It's perfectly quiet. And I got this broken arm from an attack from Antifa because I dare to say that children cannot consent to puberty blockers. It's just the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah.
And so I get back to my car.
How painful was this?
At the time, I didn't know it was broken because you have adrenaline going.
You're so tough.
You don't feel a thing.
It's annoying how tough you are.
You don't feel the punches or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But then about a minute or two after, I noticed I couldn't really move my arm. So I figured it was broken, which it is.
Wow.
And then I walked around like that for about a month, and I could feel the bones clicking.
What? It was just broken for a month?
It wouldn't heal. The bones would just click together. I could feel them clicking.
Oh my God.
So then about a month later, I got a surgery, and I have a plate in there now, which is actually the most annoying part because that still kind of aches. If I'm doing a workout and stuff, I need to get the plate taken
I didn't realize you could just live life with a broken bone. Like that was low priority for you.
Yeah, they were just floating around.
I would be scared that the bone would just float and stick out one side. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
wow.
So that was fun. That was a good night. And then I had this poutine in my car. Chrissy, this is the best
What
part.
is poutine really?
So poutine is cheese curds, gravy, and fries. That's its
that
most
sounds good.
basic version.
It's drunk food.
But I had like gourmet poutine from Montreal. Montreal's known for its poutine. And this was just a huge 10,000 calorie sloppy disaster with an egg on the top. And I'd eaten some of it earlier in the day, but it's honestly huge. And so that was still in my car. So I get back to my hotel driving with one arm, and it's COVID. There's no utensils in any hotel.
So you had to eat it with your hands.
So I ate the poutine with my right hand because I was hungry. It'd been a long time.
Right.
I got a garbage bag out of the garbage, which I hadn't used.
You're like a raccoon.
I wrapped my cast with the garbage bag, and then I took a shower to get the mustard out of my hair and everything. But that was such
What
a
a
surreal
night.
moment. Yeah.
Luckily you had that car poutine.
But always smile, right? Never play victim.
Yeah, you have a
I'm not a
great
victim.
attitude for
I'm not a
all
victim.
for all the times you've been attacked. Right, because you
They did
know
me a favor.
you know that like you choose to do this, you choose to do this work, and you understand what comes with it.
You're in a city full of 1 million people. Sometimes crazy people are going to come at you.
Do you feel like you're like a magnet for it,
Yeah, I got to be smart.
or I mean,
I
it's a
can't
lot
go
of
out in Portland at
projecting.
night.
I think it's a lot of projecting going on. Like people hate themselves, they have their own issues, and they look at you, and you're like a mirror. So
There's that. These people are indoctrinated. I don't think all these people are evil. Now, some of these Antifa guys, yeah, that's evil behavior. Who goes and just tries to cave someone's head in with a traffic cone? But most of these people are just deceived. And how do we fix that? We fix that through conversation. And with these people who are really indoctrinated, leftists get really angry right away, right? I can predict it from a mile away. I know who's going to have a problem with it.
because you're bursting their bubble.
But there's a strategy for them. And this is important for anyone who wants to have these conversations. You say things they agree with.
Like, oh, there's no wrong way to be a boy or a girl.
Bingo. They all agree with that.
And then you just
We
have
shouldn't
them
put kids in
agree
some
with you
stereotypical box. They all agree with
until
that.
like you like paint them into a corner, and then they're like, oh wait.
Yeah, so they might drop their guard. They might actually open up a little. But ultimately, you can't change a person's mind unless they're open to having their mind changed. So if they're not open, there's no point. And I'm not trying to change people's minds. A lot of people think that's what I'm trying to do. We don't need to change a single mind to stop this. We need to reach the people that know nothing about it. We need to reach the people in the middle of the political spectrum, the normies. We need to reach the moms and dads. Because for every 1,000 mom and dad you educate on this, 1 or 2 of them are going to get active.
Right.
Locally, some of them are going to get active in a bigger way. But all of the gains we've had are all downstream from awareness. And it's not because we've changed anyone's mind. It's because we educated all these people that didn't know this was going on. And then Trump learned about it. And what did Trump say about his rallies during the presidential campaign? The biggest applause he ever got was not when he talked about immigration. It wasn't when he talked about the economy. He could be in Iowa talking to farmers. It wasn't when he talked about farming. It was when he said he was going to stop the chemical castration of children and get men out of women's sports.
How much do you think you had to do with that?
I'll let other people pontificate on that.
Because you're so humble, I feel like you had maybe something to do with it.
I see my fingerprints all over, right? But I was at the first speech Trump gave when he talked about this. It was at CPAC in 2023.
Oh, wow.
And I was in the 6th row with Tiffany Justice, co-founder of Moms for Liberty. She's now running Heritage
Oh,
Action.
yeah. She's been on the show.
Yeah, she was just promoted, actually. She's now running Heritage Action,
Cool.
the political arm of Heritage. Huge deal. She's amazing. But that was the first time he mentioned he was going to stop the chemical castration, get them out of women's sports. And it was the biggest applause of the whole speech.
Wow.
By far. This is such an assault on truth. It's an assault on kids. And nothing fires people up like this. People didn't understand what was happening. And I think one of the turning points in this was these videos I tweeted out from Boston Children's Hospital in August of 2022. I tweeted out their own video.
How do you remember the month and year of your tweet, of the times that you tweet something out?
That was a very big deal. Those went viral.
Yeah, 'cause
All the
they're viral.
conservative podcasters started talking about this. People didn't know these surgeries were happening on kids. And when you tweet out these videos of these doctors who say that children know seemingly from the womb that they are transgender, and you
That's
show
wild.
them these phalloplasty stuff and all the people knew that crazy stuff was going on. These gender clinics were weird, but they didn't really understand. They didn't know that they were doing double mastectomies on 12-year-olds. We know from insurance data, and these are conservative figures, up to 179 double mastectomies have been done on girls under the age of 12 and a half. They're just forming.
That is like what
They're babies.
year in school are you? 6th grade?
7th,
7th?
8th. I started grade 8. I'm born late in the year, so I turned 13 the year I started grade 8.
That's so crazy.
And keep in mind, these are kids with other mental health problems,
Right.
with sexual abuse. I'll tell the story real quick of Clementine. There's a video from UCLA. I ran into this young woman at UCLA. She was 19. I'd been there 3-4 minutes. And she walked up to me and she said, "Hi, I'm Clementine. I'm a detransitioner." And she told me her story. When she was 7, she was sexually abused. Not just once.
Family member?
I don't know. I didn't get
Okay.
into it. Obviously, this is going to be the greatest trauma a kid has ever had. And it's probably not going to make girls really love being a girl.
No, they're going to want to put as many boundaries up between like people and their body
Right.
as they can.
And instead of just wearing baggy pants and hoodies and hiding like they did 20 years ago, now they end up at the gender clinic.
Or sometimes you gain 100 pounds.
Sure.
Yeah.
So anyway, sexual abuse as a child. Then she's seeing a school counselor when she's 12. Because she's not looking forward to becoming a woman and being sexualized and all that, for the counselor, the woke school counselor, this means she's a boy. She's trans. They socially transition her at school. Counselor tells the parents, "Your daughter's trans." So what do the parents do? They do what a lot of parents do. They go to the gender clinic at the Children's Hospital. These fantastic hospitals where they do all this miraculous life-saving care for kids. But they have this one corner of the hospital called a gender clinic, where they have these psychotic gender clinicians who teach kids that they're born in the wrong body. So on the first appointment, Johanna Olsen Kennedy, who's married to this woman who says she's a man,
Social worker, right?
she separates Clementine from her parents. In half an hour, she prescribes her puberty blockers.
Wow.
Separately, she tells the parents they can have a dead daughter or a live son. I think people think this is a line that people use to make this sound more dramatic. They say this all the time. It's not made up. All the
Wow.
time. First appointment, puberty blockers, 12 years old. What does she know about her? Nothing. She's known her for half an hour. I've spent a few days with you at different events. We've hung out. We've had dinner. I don't really know anything about you. Clearly.
Yeah. I've forgotten most of our conversations.
Yeah. Like it takes a long time to get to
Yeah.
know someone.
Yeah.
And now you're stopping a child's development based on a 20-minute, 30-minute conversation.
A half hour.
They know
Wow.
nothing.
What kind of kickbacks is this person getting for prescribing puberty blockers?
So that's the thing. She's not. She's got her salary from the Children's Hospital. She could do all sorts of jobs and make a lot of money. This is, by the way, and I'm going to get back to the story, Johanna Olsen Kennedy is one of the premier gender doctors in the United States. She received almost $10 million from the NIH, National Institute of Health, to do a study into this. Clementine was part of that study.
Whoa.
What were the results of the study? We don't know because she didn't like the results, so she buried it
Wow.
because it showed it wasn't helping.
Did they
all
even
these
say the
kids.
sample size or how many kids were in it?
We have some data now. It escapes my brain and I'm not going to get it wrong, but hopefully Jay Bhattacharya releases this, or
Wow.
Bhattacharya, I don't know how to say his last name. But anyway, so puberty blockers at 12. Then at 13, Johanna pushes her onto testosterone. Clementine didn't request it, but she said to her, so other
So
boys
this
are
is
going
after
through puberty.
a year of blockers.
And
She
other
goes-
boys are going through puberty in school now. Other boys. She's not a boy. And if you don't start, you'll fall behind. So she pushed her onto testosterone. At 14, she pushed her to get a double mastectomy, saying we get better results when we do them young.
Ugh.
The testosterone caused psychosis. She
Because
went
your
off,
brain's still developing.
and it doesn't belong in
And
a
your
girl's
body is made, right, your body's made to develop a female brain, not a male brain.
We have no idea what these drugs are doing to the developing brain.
Mm-hmm.
There are a billion processes going on in our bodies every day. Much of it is still a mystery. Now we're playing God with kids' bodies. And whether you believe in God or evolution, this makes no sense. If you believe in God, this ideology teaches that God made us wrong. And if you believe in evolution, this ideology is essentially teaching that somehow 1 billion years of the process of natural selection has
nature
failed.
is wrong.
And now we need a pharmaceutical company to fix it.
What did trans people ever do before pharmaceuticals?
Where were all these kids killing themselves before?
Right.
When they were going through puberty? It wasn't happening. But that's their number one lie, which they told to her parents. So then Johanna Olsen Kennedy at 17 or whatever, around there, I forget the exact age, wanted her to get a hysterectomy. And that was a step too far. They finally got rid of her. She's now suing Johanna, CHLA. She's suing Scott Mosser, her surgeon,
Whoa.
who cut off her breasts at 14.
How old is she now?
I think she's just turned 20.
Wow.
She's suing Scott Mosser's hospital, and she's suing a therapist. So there are limits on how much they can pay out, but we need a lot more of these lawsuits. And there are about 15 to 20 going on now. And there'll be more. But eventually, hopefully, the insurance companies refuse to cover these procedures.
And when did she start detransitioning, like going back to female?
I guess like a year and a half ago, something like that.
Wow.
And she's so sweet. She's so nice. And all she had to do was be left alone. And she would have been fine. But now she won't be able to have kids.
Wow.
Because she started puberty blockers at a young age and went on to testosterone. So the chance of her having kids is virtually nil.
And then her parents just probably felt like, oh, well, they're kind of,
They were told she was going to die
yeah,
by a doctor.
hijacked.
How do you justify this child abuse? You say they're going to die if we don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only way. So that's what they're doing. And there's all sorts of other medical complications. There's cancers, and in the WPATH files, which I mentioned earlier, there's this doctor admitting that this woman who developed hepatocarcinoma, liver cancer, they think it's because of the testosterone that she was on. Cardiovascular problems, bone problems. One of the known side effects of puberty blockers is bone demineralization. A young girl in Sweden was on them from 12 to 15 years of age, and she developed osteopenia. It's like osteoporosis. She was in chronic pain. I talked to a mother in California whose daughter was on them from those same years, and she lost 8% of her bone density at a time when they should be getting stronger.
Wow.
And this is all known, these side effects. And this whole thing stems from the Netherlands in the late 90s when they gave this drug to a single girl, one girl, who had severe distress about her sex. And then from that, they did this on about 30 kids in a small study. From that was born what they called the Dutch protocol. And back then in the Netherlands where this started, they were screening for other mental health problems, autism and things like that. They wouldn't just do this to any kid. And they wouldn't give the cross-sex hormones to them until they were 16. But when this Dutch protocol was exported to the rest of the world, over time, these safeguards have totally vanished. To the point now where all these trans activists and the American Academy of Pediatricians and all of them, they say you can only affirm. Because if you don't just affirm a child's gender identity, then you're invalidating them. Then you're saying there's almost something wrong with their gender identity.
Like kids are so fragile. If you don't tell them they're wrong, they'll fall apart.
I had a protest in Toronto once near a school that was indoctrinating a bunch of kids. And all these moms put up on the telephone poles these signs that said, "We trust children to know what's best for them."
When else does that apply in parenting? Yeah.
That's the philosophy.
Whoa.
At the WPATH conference a few years ago, right in the opening ceremony, these protesters got up and they were calling for the total abolition of all therapy. And what was the reaction? Standing ovation.
Wow.
So if an 18-year-old walks into Planned Parenthood, she walks out 20 minutes later with testosterone. This is not medicine.
I forget that they're doing this at Planned Parenthood too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thankfully, less of them now because of Trump's actions.
Thanks to Trump. Wow.
Trump's doing amazing. And in all these Democrat states where we haven't been able to pass laws against this because of Trump's executive order pulling federal funding from any institution doing this, we now have places like CHLA shutting down. Johanna Olsen Kennedy's gender clinic just shut down.
Wow.
Kaiser Permanente, where they're cutting off the breasts of 12-year-old girls. They're not doing that anymore. That's just as of last
That's
week.
amazing.
Today there was another one in the news. I've been busy. I can't remember which one. Last week, Connecticut, Illinois, all over the place. It's happening, even in some Democrat states. Now, the problem with this is, including in New York City, where we are, some of these hospitals might stop because they want their federal funding for research, but it moves to private clinics.
Okay.
That's where they'll get the hormones. That's where they'll get
And
the
that's where they'll get
surgeries.
maybe the activist money too.
Activist
probably.
money. And Zoran Mamdani, the Democrat nominee for mayor of New York, has said he wants to use $65 million of New York City taxpayer funds to transition kids. And that's in response to Trump cutting funding. So this guy cannot win.
That's a bad take. That's going to undo all his, we're going to
The
have
Islamic-
free grocery stores and free buses.
Yeah,
No.
communist grocery stores.
Yeah.
State-owned grocery stores.
Yikes.
What's that called?
A bread line, I think.
I think it's called communism.
Yes,
too. Yeah.
it is communism.
And he wants to transition kids, even though he's
Ugh.
Muslim.
That makes no
No
sense.
Muslims want to do that. This guy's like he's just fake. He just wants power. And he wants to make New York a sanctuary city for LGBTQ plus.
Isn't it already though?
Sure.
Like, I don't know. It's a sanctuary city for illegals for sure.
Yeah,
Wow.
so there's still, I don't want people to think we're like this fight is over.
No, it's
And it's
constant.
important to celebrate the wins, but this is a forever war, really.
What?
And there's
Right.
still tons of
Like what
work to do.
safeguards have been put down? Like, aren't we just one administration away from
Yes.
everything being reversed?
Yes, so in Republican states, a lot of them have passed legislation to stop this. We need federal legislation, but to do that, you need 60 senators to get past the filibuster, and we don't have 60 Republicans, and none of the Democrats will go along with it. So we're not about to have a federal law banning this anytime soon. So we need to keep Republicans in power, but ultimately we need to keep spreading awareness among people, and we need to make this uncool.
Mm-hmm.
We need to make this super uncool, and it's already happening.
It is
All the
already
young boys
super
out there, they
uncool.
all love what I do. These young guys come up to me all the time.
Yeah, you're a role model, and it's like I'm sorry to hate on my fellow woman, but it's like we're just easier to psyop, easier to brainwash, and it's toxic femininity for sure.
Right. So I wrote this tweet yesterday. Toxic femininity is leftism. It takes all the good traits of femininity, which are compassion and nurturing and all that, and it corrupts those. And it teaches these young women that their compassion needs to be for these trans kids who
Weaponized empathy.
evil people like me want to stop them getting their puberty blockers, which are going to save their lives. And they just believe this. And it's this weaponized toxic empathy. And these people aren't all evil, but they're being indoctrinated, and the whole university system is super far left, and it preys on what should be a beautiful thing. And they get lied to, and it turns it toxic. So, and then on the right, you have the opposite. You have toxic masculinity manifests as like fascist totalitarian tendencies.
Which is what people think Trump is. Well, dumb leftists think that
Right.
Trump is.
Right. And there's a bit of an uptick in that online, but I think it's mostly an online thing. Out in the real world where I do my work,
No, the finance
great.
people are happy with him.
I was walking down the street today in New York City, and I got chills at one point. All these Latino construction workers
You got catcalled by construction workers?
I got catcalled.
Wow.
They love what I do. They were all high-fiving and very appreciative of my work.
Wow.
How do they even know what puberty blockers are? Right? It's not affecting their community, but they know.
Well, the Latinkses are not down with any of that.
Right. There are basically like 0 Latinkses in the world.
They're going extinct.
For those who don't know what we're talking about, Latinx is the progressive way of referring to a Latina. But they wouldn't have known about this 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
They're construction guys.
Right.
This isn't impacting their family.
Right.
This other Latino guy came up to me today and he said 100% of their community is against it. And I know this. Basically 100% of the black community is against this. All the immigrant communities are against it. It's really white females.
White liberal females
pushing
with
this.
too much time in their hands. And like, ooh, sorry if they like don't have kids. They don't have something else to care about other than themselves. And then they kind of fall into like, well, I'm going to just like be an ally for these victim groups.
Yeah, sometimes even the ones with kids. A woman today gave me the middle finger with her kids, with her. Just thought,
What a good
who does
example.
that? You're with your kids. I didn't say anything to her. Like, they just
Yikes.
go straight to anger. But
Because they know they're wrong on a deep, deep level. Why
get taught.
would you get triggered like that?
yeah, who does that?
Yeah.
The left's gone more crazy, for sure. When I was growing up, when I was 20, no one would have walked up to some guy on the street and just attacked them or started screaming at them. Nobody did that. But I'm Gen X, so.
Yeah, which is now you had a rough couple of weeks with Ozzy dying, and gosh, who else? Phil Collins
Hogan.
about to kick the bucket too? Hulk Hogan.
And Bruce Willis doesn't even know he was an actor.
Bruce Willis doesn't know he's an actor. Oh, that's so
He's
sad.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. Oh man. But did Bruce Willis do any? I was gonna say like if he had any shitty roles, maybe it's good that he forgot. He mostly has done good work, I think.
Best Christmas movie ever.
Yeah. Wait, you were in the middle of telling me about
Australia?
Australia, this tweet
Okay.
that got you in trouble with Australia.
Yeah. So, all right. Teddy Cook is a woman
Oh, do we have the tweet to pull up? Sorry, Matt.
who says she's a man.
Is it this?
No, that's an awesome thing that Rubio is doing.
We'll talk about that next.
It's
Is it this?
that's the one. So that's a woman.
Yuck.
She's had a double mastectomy and a bunch of tattoos and testosterone. She runs one of the LGBTQ organizations in Australia. And the Daily Mail wrote this article about 16 months ago that focused on her social media content because she posts bondage, bestiality.
Yuck.
Originally, this article, those aren't my pictures that I put there. That's part of the Daily Mail's article. That's the cover photos they used. And at first, one of those photos was of a dog sodomizing a man.
That's so gross.
And it's an image that she had pushed out to her social media. And she talks about how trans identified people have better sex when they're high on illicit drugs. She posts about trans orgies and all this gross stuff.
Like this person should be in a mental institute, but instead they get called a trans expert.
So what happened, the reason the Daily Mail wrote this article is naturally because of all this disgusting stuff, she was appointed to the World Health Organization
Oh yes, a beacon of health.
to write healthcare policy for trans identified kids and adults.
Yuck.
And so I wrote this tweet, which I'll admit is not my most polite tweet in history.
This woman, yes, she's female, is part of a panel of 20 experts hired by the WHO to draft their policy on caring for trans people. People who belong in psychiatric wards are writing the guidelines for people who belong in psychiatric wards.
Technically true.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying all people who are struggling with this should be in a psych ward, but some of them are, literally. If you read Jamie Reed's testimony, she was a whistleblower from the University of Washington in Missouri. She was case manager for about 1,000 kids at their gender clinic for 4 years. And they were coming straight from the psych wards of these hospitals. One boy was sexually abusing dogs.
Oh,
They just gave him Lupron right away, like puberty blockers,
whoa.
to chemically castrate him.
That's so sad.
So, this is a psychiatric disorder. These
Yeah.
kids are struggling with a lot of things. And the point of that is really me saying, like, the insane are leading the asylum.
Right.
We shouldn't have people who themselves, originally Teddy Cook is a victim of this ideology. But like in all cults, the victims become the recruiters. The victims become the cult members who start pushing the cult. That's what's
Because
going on here.
that's how they justify it to themselves.
Well, she's bought into this ideology.
Yeah.
She now thinks she's a man. And leftism in this world, they reward this behavior. And they appoint these people to write the healthcare policy. She shouldn't be writing the healthcare policy.
No.
We should have totally independent people who are not affected by this, looking at all the data. That's been done now. England, Sweden, Finland, and the US, just this year, the HHS conducted a systematic review of all the scientific literature. All these reviews come to the exact same conclusion. After looking at all the peer-reviewed papers, they all come to the same conclusion. There's no evidence to support this. The evidence that there is super weak. It's totally lacking. They know nothing. And then there are, of course, these grave harms that are being done. So none of this should be happening. But they appoint all these people who push their ideology. They're not unbiased.
I think we had one in the last administration, right? Didn't we have a dude who dressed like a woman who's in charge of something?
Assistant Health Secretary. Rachel Levine.
Yay.
Richard Levine.
So you tweet this out, and then what happens?
So in Australia, they have a government bureaucrat called the E-Safety Commissioner. She's actually American, named Julia McGrant. She deemed my tweet to be cyber abuse.
You didn't even tag this person.
Nope. And so they ordered X to take it down. X sent me the takedown request from their legal department. And what they did was they geo-blocked it in Australia.
Okay.
But they left it up. I then filed an appeal down under. Then Elon also filed an appeal. I didn't know he was going to do that. So 2 separate appeals.
So he knows you.
Yep. And so he had his lawyers. I had my lawyers. Thank you to ADF and the Human Rights Law Alliance down under who did all this for me pro bono. And we had 5 days of trial earlier this year in April.
Wow.
For this tweet. And we won.
Cool.
We didn't just win. We crushed them. The 60-page report, we basically destroyed them on every single one of the points they were trying to make. And the judge literally quoted my own testimony in his decision, stating that I didn't call her a woman out of some means of harassing her, but that I only used sex-based pronouns because to do otherwise is, in my opinion, dangerous to women and children.
Yeah.
Because honestly, the pronouns are the gateway to this whole thing. As soon as you start lying and you go along with this, you lend it legitimacy.
Yeah.
We should never be calling girls boys. You're not kind when you call a man she, her. You're not kind when you call a woman he, him. What you are doing is lying. And you are feeding this ideology. You're lending legitimacy to it. And so I'm just never going to do that. I'll go to jail before I use the wrong pronouns for someone.
Wow. At
So
any point were you like, ugh, maybe I should delete this?
No, I loved it. As soon as I got the takedown notice about a month later. I'd forgotten about this tweet, to be honest. And then I loved it because it's a Streisand effect.
Yep.
So immediately, the tweet had now been geo-blocked in Australia. Immediately, I just tweeted it again. And I posted the whole takedown notice. And now it took off. Now it went super viral.
And that one, so did you retweet it or did you rewrote the tweet?
I rewrote the tweet. And I actually, at the end of the takedown notice from the E-Safety Commissioner, they have a copy of my tweet in there. I put that in there. So
and then
it basically
that
made a mockery of their whole thing.
That one was not geo-blocked in Australia, right?
That's right.
That's silly. They should have just probably blocked your whole account from Australia if they really wanted to keep them safe.
Yeah, I don't know. They can't do that, but they can order, according to their legislation, they can order tweets.
Single tweets, right.
And so that's a huge freedom of speech win. It's the biggest court victory for freedom of speech in the world this year.
Wow.
And I'm hoping to get something similar happening in Europe because they have a similar bill. It's called the Digital Services Act. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing. If some politician in Germany doesn't like one of my tweets about a German citizen, they can order all the social media companies to take it down so that all 450 million members of the European Union can't see it.
Wow.
Even though I'm not European. This was an Australian government official ordering a Canadian's post taken down that featured a British article on an American platform.
Wow.
That's how crazy this is. And this brings us to Marco Rubio's tweet, which you just had up. And this is amazing. And I met with some State Department people about a month ago.
Wow.
For too long, Americans have been fined, harassed, and even charged by foreign authorities for exercising their free speech rights. Today, I'm announcing a new visa restriction policy that will apply to foreign officials and persons who are complicit in censoring Americans.
Cool.
So if anyone in Europe now uses that Digital Services Act to censor you, they can now go after them and restrict their travel.
Wow.
That's what they're saying.
That's amazing.
So that's going to cause all of these European officials, Australian officials. Canada wants to pass the same sort of bill. Ireland does. UK. It's going to give them all pause. The US is standing up for freedom of speech for the entire world. They're doing amazing.
I was going to say, like, how can he do this? It just seems like a big move.
They have the power to decide who gets to come into the United States of America.
That's really cool.
And no one else will stand up for freedom of speech. So
right.
They're doing
We
it.
kind of have to be like the leader in some respect. Free speech is essential to the American way of life, a birthright over which foreign governments have no authority. Wow.
That's right.
Everybody say thanks,
Government doesn't
Marco.
give us our right to speak, do they?
No.
Nope.
And then, so this just was, wow, this was today. And you said, beautiful. The U.S. will put visa restrictions on foreign government officials censoring Americans. The European Union and Australia already have laws which enable them to order social media companies to censor anyone anywhere in the world. That is exactly why I sued the Australian government and won. Now these censors will have to risk their own ability to travel if they go after Americans. That's so badass. So when you won, they give you money or like what happens?
No money.
A car, a big check.
No money. It's just a win.
But
it sets a precedent for Australians. They can now feel safe calling a man and a woman a woman. Whereas in Germany, you can go to jail for that. Right?
And actually what you did is like really important for comedy too. Like you would think it would take a comedian to have this kind of a win. Like comedians should be standing up for freedom of speech the way you are, but a lot of them don't have balls. So some of them do, but not to do anything big like this. So
yeah. And next month or September, I'll be in London for the biggest freedom of speech event of the year. Tommy Robinson, who is out of prison now, he went to prison for showing a documentary. He's blown the whistle on all the grooming gangs, the rape gangs.
That's what the documentary was about.
The Pakistani Muslim rape gangs.
Wow.
It was about a few things, but yeah, he's been blowing the whistle on all these rapes of English girls done predominantly by Pakistani Muslims, but covered up because they're Pakistani Muslim and the media don't want to report on it.
Wow.
But he's having a big freedom of speech event. There'll probably be 100,000 people there.
Right?
So
isn't so much of Europe aren't the people in charge mostly Muslim at this point? Like they're kind of taking over.
So I wouldn't go that far, but city councils, Birmingham, different cities, they get cities with huge Muslim populations. They take over the city council, and then that's how it starts. So I went on my last trip, right after Brussels, I went to Amsterdam just for a day. It was about, I want to say 30% Muslim. And look, obviously a lot of Muslim people are great. I don't like Islam. Islam is the ideology. I don't like it. It's bad. We don't want that in the West. It's not compatible with the West. And some of the people are pushing it.
I hope you're listening, Andrew Tate.
And we don't want all these military-age males coming over
on
their boats into the UK. They're not bringing women and children with them.
No, they're leaving them at home.
It's not good. It doesn't mix with Western culture, but no one wants to stand up against that, right? But we don't need to be importing millions of immigrants from countries that hate our way of life. We shouldn't do it. We shouldn't be importing people who have a higher propensity to rape.
No.
I used to be in the financial and insurance industry. I was an investment advisor. I had a real job. The insurance industry would never allow anything that increases risk. They would be very careful. They would do the math. But this, just because we don't want to be mean, we're going to bring in people who are 10 times more likely to rape our young girls. Just say no. We don't need any of them.
What's their goal? Like, do they want to just, are they working? Are they getting jobs? Are they like, why do they come over?
Well, they
don't even
have to work. They get a whole bunch of handouts. And
just
money.
for the handouts. Yeah.
The refugees or the immigrants coming to Canada get like $80,000 a year spent on them.
Wow.
They're getting housing.
Right.
They're getting instantly a better life than they have
right.
without having to work. So who wouldn't do that?
And they don't.
I don't
right,
blame them. Of course, they're going to try to do
their
that.
families or anything with them. They're not trying to start a family or. Yeah, it's just they.
I mean, some of them do, but a lot of them are just single men coming over.
Yeah.
And it's way worse in Europe. It's way worse in Europe. It's frightening.
It is scary.
Because you get to a certain point where you can't fix it.
Right.
Malmo, Sweden was 30% Muslim. Sweden. And rapes through the roof.
Because there's so many cute blonde girls there.
And they don't share our values.
Yeah.
You know, Western European and Canadian and American culture based on Judeo-Christian values. And they don't like that.
I would just say rape in your own country. Get out of here. I mean, ideally, don't rape at all.
Ideally, yeah.
I should make a t-shirt that says that. Let's go did we get any chats? I want to make sure I address people's questions. Let's see. From Viking. Thanks for the 5. There's a great clip of Chris with a Cookie Monster mascot. Cookie Monster gave him so important info. Chris should have listened. Cookie Monster knew.
So what we have here, Chrissie, is someone who hates Jews.
Oh.
So Cookie Monster was anti-Semitic Cookie Monster on the Santa Monica Pier.
Just like wasn't there an anti-Semitic Elmo? Like, didn't someone take over Elmo's account?
So I was in Santa Monica. I was on the pier, and this dirty, filthy, disgusting, greasy Cookie Monster comes along.
Oh my God, like an unbrushed, uncared
and he's
for.
kind of got it unzipped, and he's overweight and gross.
Oh.
And so this guy sees me, and he kind of agrees, and then he walks on, and then he comes back, and he starts ranting about Jews.
But your sign isn't about Jews.
So all the Jew haters out there, they tell me 100 times a day, Chris, why don't you ever talk about Magnus Hirschfeld? This is all run by the Jews. For them, everything is the Jews' fault, of course. But in pre-Nazi era Germany, in Berlin, there was a guy called Magnus Hirschfeld, and he started this Institute for Sexual Research.
Oh, okay.
His books were among the books that were burned by the Nazis. They burned other books and genres and stuff too. But at his clinic, they did the first surgeries ever on these men. So they tried to actually implant a uterus in one of these men. He died. The first vaginoplasty, like penile inversion surgery, was done at this clinic.
This is in like what, the 30s? 40s?
Yeah, the surgeries might have even been in the 20s.
Whoa.
20s or 30s. I think 30s. But guess who the surgeon was involved in these first surgeries? It was a man named Erwin Gorbant. Erwin Gorbant was a Nazi surgeon in the Luftwaffe who later helped run these torturous freezing water experiments on Jews at the Dachau concentration camp. So you've got this Jewish man who is a gay man who is also a eugenicist.
Wow.
And probably homophobic, even though he's gay. And you've got this Nazi working together. But people like that guy who made that comment just want to blame everything on the Jews. Life's not that simple.
Wow.
Do some Jews push this? Yes. A lot of Jews fight this. What we're dealing with today is not because of Magnus Hirschfeld. What we're dealing with today more closely goes back to John Money from Johns Hopkins University. And it goes back to all these universities. It goes to feminist studies. It goes to Judith Butler and all these academics who've been pushing this theory of gender identity forever. The term gender identity was coined by a man named Robert Stoller in the 60s. It's not all because of some guy in Berlin.
It's what's happening now. It's what's being pushed in schools and
none of this happening now is because of Magnus Hirschfeld, but they just want to blame Jews. And that Cookie Monster was, I mean, it was kind of funny. It was kind of funny. Okay. But I don't entertain these guys. I'm just like, get out of here.
Okay. Viking.
But I've had a ton of these guys bother me because of that.
Okay. Push-ups for 2. This dude is like 8 feet tall IRL.
6'2".
6'2".
Yeah. There's Magnus Hirschfeld.
Hey, Viking again. Yeah, Viking for 10. Magnus Hirschfeld invented trans surgery. Gender theory as well as critical race theory came from Jews in the Frankfurt School. They were kicked out of Germany during World War II and settled at Columbia University. How much of that is true?
there's some truth in this, but it's not all because of that. I mean, gender identity theory died for decades, and it came back at Johns Hopkins really
Interesting.
in the 50s.
I would-
And then they killed it for a while again.
I want to read more about that
Yeah.
period of time.
There's a whole bunch of people that have been involved in this, but they just want to blame Jews for everything.
It is easier just
It
to
is.
blame the
Yeah.
Jews.
When life is that black and white, makes it easy.
When I stub my toe, I blame the Jews.
The Jews are liberal.
When I gained all the baby weight, I blamed the Jews.
Yeah. They tend to be more liberal.
Yeah,
So
true.
yeah, but I know a lot of my biggest supporters are not financially. I'd like some big supporters financially, but tons of people fighting this I know are Jewish as well. So it is what it is. But I'm going to be in
Yeah.
Tel Aviv in October.
Cool. Have you ever been?
Nope. I'm going to go out on the street and we'll see what happens.
That's interesting.
I'm going to get a lot of support for sure.
Yeah,
And of course, like anywhere, I'm going to get some opposition. But
that's exciting.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the chats. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything.
There was just one more.
More anti-Semitic super chats.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Well, it's the same thing, basically.
Oh,
Yeah,
what does
yeah,
it say?
why does Chris?
Oh,
sit for
it's
Jews?
Viking again. Thank you, Viking, for the $10. Every non-white group votes Democrat, despite them being them trans and kids. Both male and female whites vote Republican. Don't blame white women. Most of the white women supporting this are Jews. Be honest. I don't know about that. Most of the white women I see supporting this are like really either they're forever academia or they're like college age women.
That's right. They've all
Yeah.
been indoctrinated in college and high school. I mean, this is in schools now.
Yeah.
And if you teach kids something in school, they believe it because they're kids.
Yeah. I appreciate the passion, Viking.
But thanks for the money.
Thank
Viking.
you.
Keep it coming.
keep
The
it.
Jews aren't paying her enough, so keep it coming.
No, there's not very many Jews in the chat. We'll have to maybe I'll send, I don't know. I could get some NightMayr yarmulkes made.
What else is happening?
We'll think about it.
Freedom of speech case.
Right. Did the freedom of speech case, you're speaking at a bunch of events coming up. Did you talk about
Yeah,
your
there's always
speeches?
something. I'm speaking at that London thing. That'll be fun. I get 5 minutes.
That's really
That's
cool.
pretty good.
What was the first speech you ever gave at a public event?
Oh, back home in Vancouver. I think at one of the freedom rallies.
How,
They all loved me.
when they booked you for that, did they say how much time you have, or
No, I just wing it. I just
wow,
do my thing.
you don't bring up cue cards or anything?
No, I just wing it. The only time I wrote a speech was at the UN. I spoke at the Human Rights Council
Wow.
in Geneva.
Were you nervous?
Nope.
What?
I don't get nervous for these things. I love
Why
it.
don't you get
I love it.
nervous or worried for your own like?
At the UN, it
Broken
was
bones.
weird. I only had 90 seconds, so I had to write that out beforehand because
Wow.
you want to have your words crisp and clear, and you're trying to get as much in as possible. But they had a guy standing right beside me, which was strange, and I never asked about it. But I think he was there to like make sure that,
In case you
No one
needed
who-
water.
well, if anyone got upset with me, that it wasn't going to be a scene.
Oh wow.
But I got a lot of support at the UN. As soon as I finished,
Why are you just unflappable? Like what do you attribute your demeanor to?
I got tons of support there. This woman standing behind UN Women, it's this group.
Mm-hmm.
As I was walking out of this beautiful circular room that it's in, she mouthed the words "thank you" to me.
Aw.
And then a few of the country's reps came out to thank me, and then I was down in the cafeteria, and some people came over and they said everyone was talking about it, and mostly I got support. And even at the UN, it's a minority of people pushing this. But you got a bunch of 30-year-old diplomats there who are trying to rise up the political ranks in their careers, and
They're trying to be like an
or they're
AOC.
working for some NGO or
AOC.
whatever. So
Yeah.
none of them are going to rock the boat. But I met with the representative for the Pope while I was there
Wow.
at his residence, and I met with a few different countries' reps, some Middle Eastern reps. They all, of course, agree. Like the rep for Kuwait, of course, none
Wow.
of this goes on there. But at the Human Rights Council, can be a valuable thing for them to talk about, because sometimes these Middle Eastern countries, these Arab countries, they get grief from the Western countries for what they think are human rights abuses, which probably are. But this is something they can push back on the West
Okay.
by saying, well, you say this about us, but look what you're doing to kids in your country.
They can say that you're being hypocritical.
Yeah, and they're right.
Yeah.
I mean, the left is every single leftist will agree that female genital mutilation is wrong and awful and terrible. And it is.
We're doing it here in this country.
Even worse.
Yeah.
They're cutting off the forearms of young women and attaching that to their groin. That's female genital mutilation. There's male genital mutilation going on, and they call it progress.
Ugh.
Cutting off the genitals of minors. It's being done. And that's progress. This is insane.
I can't even believe it's happening, but I'm glad that things are slowly turning around. That's very exciting. Anybody you've been nervous to meet or talk to? Other than me, of course.
To be honest, no. I don't.
You don't get nervous.
I don't get that. I think in the beginning, this was all new to me. I used to have a normal job. And I was not used to being in the public eye. I think the first time media came out, I was trying to promote other people to do it. I didn't even want to talk to them. But I learned that I have to do this myself.
How was the transition
You want it done
between your regular day job and this?
I just quit.
Really?
Yeah.
What made you just quit?
I didn't have time to do my other job. I just quit. I still was technically licensed as a
you were what, a financial
guy.
advisor?
Yeah. And I had a
Okay.
little insurance business. But I just started doing this. And I think I probably did one more deal after that, insurance deal or something.
Wow.
But I didn't focus on it at all. I didn't market it. I just was 100% on this. I work probably 80, 90 hours a week just on this.
Wow. Were you worried about like, how am I going to make money doing this?
Yeah. And I'm still losing money. It's actually a problem right now. But I'm launching a nonprofit, which maybe Monday, I think Monday. I'll have an article coming out. I won't say who. But I'm launching a nonprofit and I've got an amazing board.
Wow.
An incredible board. Tiffany Justice, who now runs Heritage Action. Bridget Ziegler, she's chair of the Sarasota School Board. James Fishback, he's a hedge fund guy. He built up the biggest high school debate program in the country. Lissa Corin, she's international spokesperson for ADF International. I'll have a person working with me internationally as well, generating media and all that.
Cool. Wow.
And I need to be able to hire, I think, a video editor to chop up content. And I want to work with proper media companies so we can produce short content in different languages to educate people about this. And then hold events around the world and do more political
Billboard Pablo.
lobbying. So lots of stuff to do. So hopefully I can raise $1 million or $2 million in the next year, because that's what I'm going to need to get started. But yeah, I was losing money. My wife was more probably worried about it than me, but I do get small donations from people. And if I need to raise money, I can. I just don't like asking for it. I've only had to do it twice.
Well, I'll ask for it for you. If you guys are listening to this and loving what Chris does and want to support him, and even if it's like a couple of bones, you can totally go to his website and just
go to billboardchris.com.
Billboardchris.com. Throw him a couple bucks. It's in the description of this show. But yeah, just why not? Throw him.
Yeah, and I'll have a new website for the nonprofit, but I should probably wait until I launch that.
Wow, you're doing so much.
I'm very excited about the nonprofit, because then I'm going to be more comfortable asking for money, because it's not going to me.
Yeah, it's going to the
there.
cause.
We've got a treasurer full-time.
Yeah.
I have $20,000 in legal fees I have to pay right now.
Wow, for what?
Setting it up.
Oh, damn.
Did it right. It was a little more complicated because I'm Canadian, but it's a U.S. nonprofit, so it's tax deductible for Americans, and it's got a global focus. So probably half the time still focused on the United States and the other half globally, because no one is doing this in Europe.
No,
Nobody.
why not? They don't have balls. They're scared.
And you have to defeat this even in America, you have to battle it globally, because it's one big monster.
Yeah, you're right.
And you can chip away and make some gains in the US, but as soon as a Democrat gets elected again, unless you've dealt with this all across the globe, it's just going to come back. And it's the child abuse, the medical malpractice. We can stop that more quickly than we can really deal with this ideology. We have to make this ideology so unpopular.
Make
we have
it
to
illegal.
educate so many people about it that it just becomes uncool with the kids.
Make people not want to do it rather than
Right.
trying to convince all these indoctrinated people that they're wrong because
Yeah,
they
and trying to
won't.
deal with all these leftist politicians to write laws when they never will.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just one giant worldwide beast. And I think no matter where you chip away at it, it affects all the other countries.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can make enough gains in enough places, the whole thing eventually shatters. And it's going to take
Wow.
10 or 20 years because they've got a big head start on us. But we fix this one conversation at a time, educating people about it. So that's what I'm going to do.
You're like truly doing the Lord's work. This is amazing. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud to know you for real.
I'm proud to know you.
Stop it. I'm just sitting here trying to get back into my jeans. You're out there
I remember our first conversation.
doing real good. We were
We were walking down the street in New York City after a Minds conference that you
yes,
emceed.
the Mines. Was that at the Beacon Theater?
I think
Or was
so.
it a different? Yeah. That was a big event. That was cool.
And I got to walk down the street in New York City with the MC.
that was
It
me.
was very special.
What did we walk through Times Square? We walked was it
We went and
from
got some hot dogs or something.
Yeah.
With Mikey.
Mikey Harlow?
Yeah.
I always
couple
love a
people.
hot dog after a big event.
Was Carrie Smith there?
I think so.
Yeah.
That was cool. Yeah, and then I
met
bumped
Tulsi Gabbard that night. And I
yeah, so did I.
think I'm the first person to ever teach her about puberty blockers.
Wow.
And she wasn't comfortable talking about it then. She was still a Democrat.
Cuz that was 21?
That was the summer of 2022.
No, that's right, of course, cuz that's when I got in that's the night I got engaged. It was
Yeah.
right after that
Alex
event.
Stein was there.
It was such a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool.
And Tulsi wasn't comfortable talking about it publicly yet. But then about a month later, she was tweeting about it. So I
Wow.
was happy. And now she's running the
And now she's crushing
national
it.
security. So I better not say anything bad because she'll go ban me from the United States.
Take away your Twitter. I'm so proud of you. Wow, you're really doing it. I'm like speechless. Let's check and make sure we didn't skip any other anti-Semitic super chat.
Oh, there's a bunch of them.
Oh goodness. Okay, Viking for 2. Sorry, Chrissy. Lol, I couldn't help myself.
Thanks, Viking.
Viking for 5. Despite disagreeing on the Jays, thank you for your work protecting the children, Chris. It's very important. See, he came around.
It's coming around.
See, Viking.
It's just not all that. It's just not all that simple.
It's
There's a
not-
lot to this.
Yeah,
a lot
there's
to
nothing
this.
about the Jews in this episode,
Yeah,
guys.
Hirschfeld was a totally bad, deceived,
Yeah.
crazy person for sure. But there's more to it than him.
Yeah. Wow. Where can people follow you? Again, they can throw you a couple bucks before your nonprofit drops. They could go to billboardchris.com. They could follow you on Twitter and on YouTube at billboardchris.
Yes, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. YouTube that's the easiest place to find the videos. They disappear on X, but X is where I spend most of my time on social media. That's where all the political.
That's where all the smart people are. I'm on X.
I'd probably be smarter to get off of it, but yeah, I'm on pretty much everything now.
Yeah. TikTok.
No,
Good.
I have an account. I've only uploaded a couple things, but maybe when I'm able to hire someone, I can get them to do that. I don't have
Yeah,
time.
the youth is better at TikTok. Holly Hendricks. I know. I wonder if this is the Holly Hendricks I know. Thank you for the $1.99. And she did not say anything about the Jews. That's refreshing. Oh, what's up, Holly? Oh, it is the Holly Hendricks I know. Okay. How cool.
That name is familiar to me.
Yeah.
Hi, Holly.
Hi, Holly. No cutting off weenies. No, that's really,
No cutting-
that sums up our whole conversation, basically. Everyone follow Chris. Throw him a couple bucks. Doing the Lord's work.
And remember, there's no such thing as a transgender child. They're called girls and boys, and they're beautiful just as they are.
You were born perfectly the way God made you, everybody. This was great. What a good chat. So good to see you, Chris. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you for this anti-Semitic super chats. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.